Chapter 11. Call me teacher son. Please allow us to admire your massage technique. Wang Hao and Zhangzhou bowed with utmost sincerity. Humans were like that. The easier they could get something, the less they would cherish it. They could tell that Sun Mo didn't wish to display his massage technique, and this caused them to become extremely nervous, filling their heart with worry. Li Gong decided not to mess with Sun Mo for now. He wanted to observe him for a little while. If Sun Mo was truly capable, Li Gong would have to change his attitude toward him. Alright then. In order to complete his new mission, Sun Mo could only do this. However, this isn't any massage technique. It's known as the Ancient Dragon Capturing Hands. What a powerful name. Wang Hao was astonished. Tyrannical, Zhangzhou praised. This is a consummate skill that has been lost since ancient times. After using it, it will clear your meridians and energy channels, improve blood circulation to your muscles, allow you to be immune to 100 illnesses, and maintain your peak state for a longer period. Sun Mo didn't have any intentions to lie to people. However, he felt the name massage technique too unpleasant sounding. Qi Shengjia's gaze was filled with enthusiasm when he thought about his body being massaged by such a consummate skill last night. He was so emotional that he was shaking. You first, lie on the wooden plank. Sun Mo pointed to Wang Hao. Wang Hao immediately went to the wooden plank and lay down obediently. His body was tense and straight, like a salted fish waiting to be packed. Relax, Sun Mo instructed. His hands grabbed out, and he used force to knead Wang Hao's veins on his thigh. Ugh! A heart-drilling pain started to spread from that area, causing Wang Hao to scream. Half of his body directly turned numb. You are too lazy, even your veins are starting to be rusty. Sun Mo frowned. His expert-grade circulation technique allowed him to accurately assess the conditions of Wang Hao's meridians. This Wang Hao's potential value was higher than Qi Shengjia. However, his constitution was extremely ordinary. I will start working hard tomorrow. Wang Hao turned red and guaranteed while stuttering. At the same time, his admiration for Sun Mo grew. Indeed, ever since he got hooked on reading novels, the amount of time he spent on cultivating had been reduced by half. Teacher Sun could tell his condition just by kneading his thighs. Teacher Sun was simply too awesome. As the pain faded, currents of warmth generated in his body, causing Wang Hao to moan in comfort. He felt that the accumulated fatigue of these past few days had vanished. 5 minutes later, Sun Mo heard the system's notification. Ding! The optimal performance of the target's energy channels is extended by 122-hour periods. What do you mean? Asked Sun Mo, since he didn't understand. There's a lifespan for the various organs and tissues in the human body. After the lifespan is exceeded, their performance would gradually decline. The energy channels share the same logic. Your Tuina technique can allow your target's energy channels to maintain their optimal performance for a bonus of 122-hour periods, the system explained. 122-hour periods, which means 240 hours, or also equal to 10 days. Isn't the amount of time too little? Sun Mo instantly calculated. What could someone do in 10 days? Optimal performance is when the target's energy channels are in the extreme eruption state. You can extend this period by 240 hours. The system replied. Sun Mo nodded to indicate that he understood. In this case, the circulation technique was truly impressive. If he leveled it up to the Grandmaster grade or Ancestor grade, the upgrade this technique brought to his targets would be even greater. Alright, your turn now. Sun Mo didn't massage them for nothing. His comprehension of the circulation technique improved by a little again. Wang Hao stood on the ground and couldn't help but jump about, punching out a few times. Right now, he felt that his body was more relaxed and lighter. His punches were also more accurate. However, the most important thing was that he could feel the qi circulation in his body quicken. Wang Hao immediately became joyful. Before this, the circulation of qi in his body had been sluggish. Now that the circulation had become quicker, it also meant that his state of being had improved and his cultivation level had been enhanced by a little. If he could maintain this state of being, he would be able to break through to the 5th level of body refinement realm very quickly. Teacher Sun, thank you. Ding. Favorable impression points from Wang Hao plus 18. Prestige connection with Wang Hao, neutral. 23/100. Zhangzhou comfortably closed his eyes. His father was a tea merchant and he was quite wealthy. Hence, Zhangzhou would often go to various associations and enjoy all types of massages. But even for those aged masseurs with plenty of experience, they had no way to be compared to Sun Mo. Sun Mo's skill was not as fanciful, but its effect was beyond comparison. Ding! The optimal performance of the target's energy channels is extended by 102-hour periods. The system's notification rang out. It's done. Sun Mo contemplated and understood. It wasn't that he hadn't done the massage well. In this case, Zhangzhou's energy channels were healthier than Wang Hao's. Therefore, the upgrade that the massage had brought for him was slightly weaker in comparison. This also indicated that Zhangzhou's cultivation, aptitude, diet, and many other aspects were superior to Wang Hao. If not, Zhangzhou wouldn't be a level higher than Wang Hao. Zhangzhou didn't get up straight after the massage. He began to breathe in and out in tandem with the circulation of spirit qi. Very soon, the spirit qi in the surroundings gathered, forming a mini spiral before entering his body. Boom! Zhangzhou's clothes began to swell. His muscles became full and were glowing with a faint layer of light. Crackle, crackle. Zhangzhou's entire body began to emit a cracking sound. He is going to break through? Li Gong exclaimed in shock. Hush! Qi Shengjie and Wang Hao hurriedly shushed Li Gong, indicating for him not to disturb Zhangzhou. Sun Mo took several steps back. His arms were crossed over his chest as he observed Zhangzhou. Not long later, a booming sound like an exploded balloon rang out from inside Zhangzhou. The gathered spirit qi in him burst forth, permeating the surroundings, causing the dust here to be blown away. After that, Zhangzhou's breathing gradually became level. The spirit qi in the surroundings also reverted to their earlier state of calmness. His breakthrough had ended. Ha ha, I broke through to the 60H level of the body refinement realm. Zhangzhou laughed out loud. He couldn't help but forcefully thump his chest. After the 90H level of body refinement, it would be the spirit refinement realm. That realm wasn't far from him. Teacher son, your ancient dragon-capturing hands are truly awesome. Zhangzhou praised him sincerely. As a young man with average potential, his perception was stronger than Wang Hao. He could sense that while Sun Mo had been massaging him, the circulation of his spirit qi had been much faster and also increased in quantity. Spirit qi was the foundation of everything. During combat, cultivators needed to expend spirit qi. The faster their spirit qi circulated, the faster it would be replenished. It also represented that one's combat strength would be higher. Congratulations. Qi Shengjie punched his good friend's shoulder. I didn't lie, right? Teacher son is very awesome. Congratulations. Wang Hao also congratulated Zhangzhou. He was filled with envy, and he was annoyed at himself. After the massage, his condition was extremely good. It was the best chance to try for a breakthrough. But why didn't he think of it? He had the same opportunity but wasn't able to grab hold of it. This was too depressing. Ding! Favorable impression points from Zhangzhou plus 25. Prestige connection with Zhangzhou unlocked. Current state, neutral, 25/100. Fuck, this soft rice guy is so awesome. Li Gong was dumbfounded. However, the truth was before his eyes. Teacher, are you free tonight? I wish to be the host and treat you to a dinner to express my respect. Zhangzhou had a smile on his face. Zhangzhou, who was from a merchant clan, knew when to grab hold of opportunities to build better relationships. Even if Sun Mo's teaching ability wasn't that good, this ancient dragon capturing hands was enough for him to spend a large sum of money to get to know Sun Mo. I'm very busy. Sun Mo would never attend such invitations. I'm sorry. This student was too impetuous. Zhangzhou hurriedly apologized and felt some regret. He had just broken through and was too excited. Hence, he thought of things too simply. This kind of invitation should be sent by his father, and he should also prepare a gift for Sun Mo. Only then would his actions have enough weight. All right. Disperse if there's nothing else. Work hard when you go back. Sun Mo waved his hand. He still needed to handle Li Gong. After hearing these words, Qi Shengjie and his friends solemnly bowed. We, your students, will take our leave first. Sun Mo, can you help my lame leg to recover? After seeing the three students leave, Li Gong impatiently asked. System, How do I train my circulation technique to the Grand Master grade? Zhangzhou silently asked. Use the circulation technique for 10,000 hours. Once your proficiency grows, you will be able to attain the Grand Master grade, the system stated. So many hours. When he heard the amount of time needed, Zhangzhou lost interest completely. Even if he didn't become a great teacher, he wouldn't want to be a little messer either. All techniques and skills are the sublimation of experience. Being called a Grand Master means you can be considered as an existence at the peak of this Tao. The system could even say such profound and philosophical things. Zhangzhou was really astonished. Zhangzhou. Li Gong walked to the front of Zhangzhou as he shouted, "Do we have such a close relationship?" Zhangzhou corrected, "Call me teacher son." Li Gong was extremely unhappy, but when he thought of his lame leg, he squeezed out a smile. "Teacher son, are these 3 examples enough for you to believe my words?" Zhangzhou activated divine sight and glanced at Li Gong's lame leg. There was no mistake. This was a problem of damaged energy meridians, and he could cure it. "If you cure my leg, I won't make things hard on you again." Li Gong set a price. "You are already over 40 years old, but you are still so naive." Zhangzhou mocked. "What do you want then?" Pack. Zhangzhou lifted his hand and slapped Li Gong's face on the left, leaving behind a palm imprint. "You hit me?" Li Gong was stunned. "You actually dared to hit me?" Although he was from the logistics department, he had been in this school for 7 years. Even when the teachers saw him, they would nod and greet him, causing him to feel a little proud of himself. Yet, he was smacked by an intern teacher today? No. Zhangzhou wasn't even an intern teacher. Pack. Zhangzhou completely disregarded Li Gong, who was as angry as a mud dog, as he slapped him again with the back of his hand. "That's right, I'm hitting you." This taunt directly caused Li Gong's anger to burn. His wrinkly old face flushed red. "I'm going to kill you today. Do you wish to be lame forever?" Zhangzhou didn't dodge. He continued standing at his original location and looked at Li Gong calmly. Li Gong felt like a bucket of ice was pouring on his head. His anger instantly extinguished as he froze on the spot. His expression was incomparably gloomy. He had been lamed for 12 years and had visited many doctors, but all of them didn't have a solution. Gradually, Li Gong gave up. But now, there was a chance before his eyes. He truly didn't want to miss it. "If I can walk normally, others wouldn't look at me with contempt anymore. If my leg is healed, I will be able to find a better job." A lame leg didn't simply bring about a physical handicap to Li Gong. He also felt inferior to others in his heart. The word cripple made him extremely uncomfortable. "You are an intern under my supervision. Are you not afraid of being fired if I say that your performance is bad?" Li Gong threatened. Zhangzhou's answer was very simple. He launched another slap over Pack. A crisp sound rang out. His palm imprint was extremely clear. Chapter 12. "Zhangzhou, you schemed against me. Why are you still hitting me?" Li Gong clutched his face, filled with disbelief. Why was this fellow so gusty? Wait a minute. He suddenly realized something. "Do you think that Headmaster and Xinhui can protect you?" "Stop dreaming. The school isn't a place where her words alone hold sway." This time around, he didn't wait for Li Gong to finish talking. Zhangzhou directly opened up his stance. His backhand and front hand launched forward, slapping both sides of Li Gong's face. Pack, pack, pack. In the storehouse, the sound of slappings echoed out. "Stop hitting, I'm in the wrong." Li Gong covered his head. In order to cure his lame leg, he decided to endure. Besides, he had discovered that this brat was much more self-confident than before. His tongue was also more poisonous. Zhangzhou stopped. His gaze held no fluctuations as he stared at Li Gong. He didn't forget the vile attitude this fellow had shown him that day when he scolded him. This fellow kept finding trouble for Zhangzhou because his purpose was to get him fired. Once Zhangzhou was fired, he would have a black mark on his record forever, and it might be impossible for him to find another job as a teacher in another school. Even if he were to look for other jobs, his future would definitely be affected. Facing a fellow who wanted to destroy his future, Sun Mo absolutely wouldn't feel pity. "What do you want me to do before you will cure my leg?" Li Gong's tone turned soft. Many intern teachers were afraid of committing mistakes during their internship as they would be fired. Thus, what he could threaten Sun Mo with was his power to grade Sun Mo badly. But if Sun Mo didn't care whether he joined the faculty or not, the threat Li Gong presented would be ineffective. "What do you think?" Sun Mo counter-asked. Li Gong fell silent. As an experienced member of the society, he knew what Sun Mo wanted. However, he couldn't say it or he wouldn't be able to stay in the school any longer. "No one instructed me to make things hard on you. I was the one who feels that you are unworthy after I heard that you are Headmaster N's fiancé. I felt unhappy in my heart, and this was why I messed with you." Before the sound of Li Gong's words faded, Sun Mo's hand smacked over again. "Pack!" Li Gong staggered, his face had swollen. "Who the hell do you think you are? With your guts? How would you dare to mess with me if there was no one instructing you? Have you gone stupid from eating too much?" Sun Mo sneered. Plop. Li Gong's knees turned soft as he knelt. Mucus and tears flowed down his face as he cried, "I can't say it. If I say it, not only will I not be able to keep my job, but I will also be beaten to death." "You can escape." Sun Mo squatted down and looked at Li Gong. "Once your leg is healed, you can find another job whenever you want." Li Gong hesitated. He felt he was extremely unlucky. "It's department head Yang Kai from the logistics department. If I can chase you away, he promised to make me his vice department head." "Why does he want to target me?" Sun Mo frowned. "Maybe you took something from him?" After Li Gong finished speaking, when he saw Sun Mo lifting his hand again, he hurriedly covered his head. "I have no idea. Maybe the higher-ups wanted to make trouble for Nxinhui and you got implicated." Any places with humans would have disputes over benefits. The Central Province Academy also wasn't a board of iron. It had fallen to the bottom of the D grade in the league tournament and was at the point where its name was about to be removed. Other than the calamity that had happened 300 years ago being a part of the reason, there were also huge issues in the internal departments of the school. Sun Mo furrowed his brows as he sank into contemplation. Li Gong knelt on the ground, didn't dare to disturb Sun Mo or get up. "You should have done many bad things for Yang Kai, right?" Sun Mo suddenly spoke, scaring Li Gong badly. "No, no." Li Gong hurriedly waved his hands in denial. Pack! Another slap was launched at him, and he almost became stupid from the force of it. "There are over 20 staff in the logistics department, so why did he choose you specifically? If you say you are not his lackey, who will believe this?" Sun Mo liked to read novels, and he especially loved those logic deductions genres. "Are you a devil?" Li Gong's body shivered. Sun Mo's eyes had clear distinctive shades of black and white, and the calmness and self-confidence radiating from them made Li Gong feel as though he had been seen through. "All right, tell me everything you know." Sun Mo grabbed hold of Li Gong's lame leg and started to employ the circulation technique. Li Gong's body trembled. He had been prepared to not say anything even if he was beaten to death. However, a current of warmth could be felt from his lame leg, causing his spirits to stir. "You!" Li Gong stared at Sun Mo with shock. The ancient dragon capturing hands were truly awesome. With a casual press, his leg already felt much more comfortable. Ding! Favorable impression points from Li Gong +5. Prestige connection with Li Gong, neutral, 6/100ths. "I said it before, I can heal your leg." Sun Mo's voice was filled with confidence. Li Gong hummed and hawed, eventually saying all the black history he knew about. His leg had been crippled for almost 12 years. He would feel it grow cold in the summer, and he had to wrap his to protect it. It felt even worse in the winter. Now that he had felt a sense of comfort from his leg, he truly didn't want to miss out on this opportunity. Corruption is truly a widespread phenomenon. After listening to Li Gong's words, Sun Mo's expression grew increasingly colder. "Please press a little bit more for me." After that, Sun Mo's hand moved away. The sense of comfort Li Gong felt instantly vanished. "HMPH. Listen well and follow my instructions exactly to the letter. After this matter is settled, I will cure your leg completely." Sun Mo carefully told him what to do. "No way. If I do this, I will die for sure." After Li Gong heard what Sun Mo said, His face turned completely pale. Sun Mo took out a chestnut-size white-colored jade stone and tossed it about between his hands. Voice retention stone? Li Gong wailed in grief. He was so angered that he almost fainted. Sun Mo, you are scheming against me. A voice retention stone was a special jade stone that could record the surrounding noises. Li Gong didn't expect Sun Mo to have this trick up his sleeves. You've already said so much. Do you think you still have the chance to go back on our deal? Although a voice retention stone wasn't cheap, even poor students would do their best to prepare one. They could use it to record the lessons given by great teachers and use it as a source of revision in the future. After Sun Mo saw this stone in his luggage, he knew that his plans were in the bag. As long as Li Gong fell for the first step, he would have no choice but to board this ship of his. As a fan of deduction genre novels, Sun Mo knew that secret records were weapons that would never blunt from use. Li Gong gritted his teeth, looking like a mad dog that was about to bite. He rushed toward Sun Mo, wanting to snatch the voice retention stone back. Sun Mo had long since been on guard against this fellow. Just when Li Gong moved, Sun Mo's right leg lifted high and kicked at Li Gong's head. Bang! Li Gong was flung to the side like a sack. The impact of the fall caused the dust here to fly around. TSK. Sun Mo moved his leg about. As expected of a world where spirit chi could be cultivated, this made it so that his body was extremely healthy and robust. After being kicked, Li Gong started to be afraid. Had he gone mad? He had attacked Sun Mo. Even if this guy was someone who ate soft rice, he was ultimately a graduate from the Zhongzhou Academy. I will give you 2 days to think. Sun Mo flicked away the dust on his robes. Think about it. If your leg is healed, you can find a respectable job and earn more money. Li Gong's heart was moved. Doing odd jobs was tiring and the pay was low. Also, because his movements were inconvenienced, the work was sometimes strenuous for him. In any case, given how old you are and with a lame leg, even if you went out to play, those ugly old women wouldn't care about you, right? Sun Mo's tongue was toxic. Li Gong started. After that, his face turned black. He could only feel resentment and helplessness in his heart. Walking on the limestone pathway of the school, basking in the sunlight of the afternoon, Sun Mo felt extremely comfortable in his heart. After settling Li Gong, no one would temporarily make trouble for him. He could relax for a few days. The Central Province Academy was very big. Sun Mo would occasionally see students with immature looks on their faces. If it wasn't for the fact that their clothes were of the ancient style, Sun Mo would have felt that he returned to his old school. After entering the school gate, if one walked for a few more steps to the main avenue, there would be a small public square. At this moment, someone was preparing some setups here. 7 days later, this would be the location for the student recruitment meet. The standard of recruitment for Central Province Academy was that the students had to reach 12 years of age. In the past, even before the student recruitment meet, the school gate would have been destroyed by the students who came to join the school. Hence, there had been a need to prepare an entry test to filter away those students who weren't up to the standard. Now, as the standard of the school dropped to the D grade, other than some false reputation, the grandness of the recruitment meet no longer existed. As long as their slots could be filled, the school leaders would already thank the heavens and earth. The Myriados Academy, which replaced the Central Province Academy, was now the #1 academy in Jinling City. It was the top choice of school for high officials and rich merchants. From Li Ziqi's way of talking and clothes, she should be from a wealthy family. Her parents will definitely hope for her to go to the Myriados Academy. So why did the system want me to get her to be my student? This mission is truly too difficult. Honestly speaking, if he was Li Ziqi's parents, he would also choose the Myriados Academy for her. Who didn't wish for their children to attend a better school? Forget it. I will take a step at a time. Let's hope there will be no punishments if I fail the mission. Sun Mo touched his hair. Speaking of which, he still had 3 missions. One was to become a teaching assistant in half a month, and the reward was a golden treasure chest. Initially, the mission's duration was 1 month. But because he spoke too much, the duration was changed. If he couldn't complete this, the system had clearly expressed that there would be a strict punishment. The second mission was to help Qi Shangjia pass the Battle Hall's test. The reward would also be a golden treasure chest. However, After Sun Mo understood the test's mechanism and Qi Shengji's extremely low potential value, he felt that this was almost impossible. The third mission was a simple one, but Sun Mo wasn't that keen because there was no challenge to it. Just like what the system had said, a great teacher was someone who transformed the impossible into the possible, allowing trash to become a gem. This sentence fit Sun Mo's style, because when he played games, he would always start with the highest difficulty level. During the student recruitment meet, I must definitely select a few students that have off-the-charts potential. Sun Mo rubbed his eyes. The divine sight spell was the source of his confidence. I heard my fiancée is named Xin Huai. This name is really not bad. I heard she's also a beauty on the devastating beauty rankings. Should I go and see her? The devastating beauty rankings were only for female great teachers. As the name implied, not only must the female great teacher be extremely beautiful, but their knowledge must also be profound and deep, suffering no disadvantages when compared with their outstanding and peerless demeanor. One could say that those who could take a spot in it were all goddesses that males wanted to chase after. This ranking was different from the Green Cloud rankings and Great Teacher rankings. The beauty rankings was announced by the government after collecting a large amount of data. As the rankers were chosen by everyone else in the public, it was worthy of being believed. One must know that in this current age, there were no hired posters on the internet to sway the opinions of the public. Hence, those on the rankings must have received the public's approval and recognition. It wouldn't be legal to glance at my own fiancé, right? Sun Mo's heart stirred. Chapter 13. A small step toward being a great teacher. The blue sky was clear with white clouds. The Middle Earth's 9 provinces, which was still stuck as an agricultural society, had no hints of industrial pollution. The smell of the fresh air with a hint of summer was very comfortable. Sun Mo walked to the end of the stone path and stopped in his footsteps, allowing the shadows from the mulberry tree to cast down and flicker on his body. He then turned and headed toward the dorm building. What point would there be if a man didn't equip himself with a famous blade and ride a great horse to meet his beloved woman? Since Xin Huai is the headmaster, then I must at least be a great teacher, right? Sun Mo mumbled and then added one more thought in his heart. I have to become the top great teacher in Jinling. Ding! Congratulations, you've reached 100 favorable impression points, activating the great teacher path. As you have taken a small step on the great teacher path, you're rewarded with a lucky treasure chest. I hope that from now on, you'll obtain even greater achievements as a great teacher. Good luck, intern teacher Sun Mo. The system's series of reminders cut off Sun Mo's thoughts. Do you have to speak up suddenly every single time? You're like a ghost and it's quite scary. Sun Mo complained, but the system naturally wouldn't pay him any heed. A lucky treasure chest that flashed in red light landed in front of Sun Mo's eyes. He was familiar with this situation and called out "Open" softly. It opened with the command and then immediately disappeared, leaving behind a small, round glass bottle that was the size of a palm. It was flat and there was a creamy white liquid inside. The ancient whale oil is the essence extracted from the ancient whale. It is refined together with 16 precious medicinal herbs and is for external application. It can strengthen the body, prevent illnesses, relieve pain, and increase the sensitivity of the 6 senses. Remark: as the effect is too powerful, please use small amounts appropriately each time. If used in too high of a dosage, it'll corrode the nerves and result in a huge sense of excitement. After looking at the instructions on the bottle, Sun Mo was speechless. System, you want me to go further and further down the path of a master? Nurturing a great teacher? You must be nurturing a master instead. Please do not doubt the accuracy of the absolute great teacher system, the system emphasized. Moreover, there aren't any differences in statuses between jobs. Then why aren't you a foot master system? Sun Mo asked. The system fell silent for about 10 or more seconds and then diverted the conversation. Please do not underestimate the ancient whale oil. When used together with the ancient massage technique, it can have a powerful effect. He opened up the shopping store and saw that other than a body fruit, there was also a bottle of ancient whale oil on the rack that looked exactly the same as what he had just gotten. The amount was 200 milliliters. and the price was set at 1,000 favorable impression points. "It's so expensive?" Sun Mo was shocked. This was comparable to the price of a body fruit. 200 milliliters? Was that little? Of course, it was. Sun Mo had seen his female colleagues 200 milliliters Chanel No. 5 perfume that cost over 2,500 RMB. After she bought that, she ate plain buns and salted vegetables for over a month. That was a perfume, and a light puff of it would allow one to have the fragrance for one day. One could use it for several months. But he'd have to use 7 to 8 milliliters worth of this ancient whale oil each time, right? Otherwise, if the person had a big face, there wouldn't be enough to cover the face, let alone using enough for a full body massage. Cheap things aren't good. Everything sold by the system shopping store is worth more than their price. The system added, for a full body massage, you'll just need to use 5 milliliters of the ancient whale oil and dilute it with clean water in a 5-to-1 ratio. If the ratio is even lower, the effect would be reduced even more. A full body massage will give you at least 25 favorable impression points. Sun Mo immediately did his estimation. It seemed that he had to use it sparingly. Why do you have to use it sparingly? The high price is to stimulate you to work hard and guide even more students, gaining favorable impression points. The system made his scheming sound so legitimate, giving Sun Mo the urge to raise his middle finger at it. Sun Mo currently had 109 favorable impression points, out of which 4 came from Li Ziqi, 6 from Li Gong, 23 from Wang Hao, 25 from Zhangzhou, and rest came from Qi Shengjia's 51. "Is there anything I can purchase?" Sun Mo asked as he walked. The lucky treasure chest costs 10 favorable impression points each. It gives you a certain chance of drawing items sold in the shopping store. The system recommended. "I'm an unlucky person who can't even win a consolation prize in lucky draws since young. Aren't you asking me to waste all the favorable impression points by doing that?" Sun Mo rolled his eyes. After returning to the dorm building, Sun Mo saw a student standing in front of the entrance. He was bowing toward Jiang Sheng. "Teacher Jiang, thank you for your guidance. Go on. Go back and work hard." Jiang Sheng was holding a book in his left hand, and his right hand clasped behind his back. He wore a faint smile, putting on the appearance of a great teacher. Seeing that Sun Mo had come back, Jiang Sheng threw a sideward glance at him and then turned his head away, not even bothering to give a greeting. He didn't want to get close to useless men like him. Yuan Feng and Lu Dai were both in the dorm. The former also ignored Sun Mo, but Lu Dai nodded. Lu Dai was someone who would choose not to offend anyone. "Jiang Sheng, this is the 5th student who had come to look for you for guidance, right? It seems that you've already gained the recognition of some students as a teaching assistant." Yuan Feng said politely. "It's acceptable." Jiang Sheng wore a proud expression and went back to his bed, continuing with his meditation. The atmosphere in the dorm was very awkward. Jiang Sheng looked down on Sun Mo. Or rather, it could be said that Jiang Sheng looked down on his 3 roommates. Other than giving short replies when Yuan Feng was making polite and respectful talk, he usually spent his time meditating and didn't chat with them. Yuan Feng also didn't care for Sun Mo and thus chose to ignore him. Lu Dai had a nonchalant attitude toward Sun Mo, but he wouldn't take the risk of offending Jiang Sheng and Yuan Feng and talk to him. Sun Mo could be said to be ostracized and was unable to integrate with them. However, he didn't care about this. Instead, he felt that it was very quiet, which allowed him to contemplate some things. Sun Mo would definitely not bootlick someone to get into their good books. A quiet night passed by. In the morning, Lu Dai took his pig trotter and soup stock to bring to the canteen to stew. This was his unique means of getting into the teacher's good books. Teacher Zhe has already eaten 2 pieces. By the time he eats 5 pieces, I should be able to stay in the school. Lu Dai yearned for a beautiful future. Every intern teacher was tagged to a senior teacher as their teaching assistant. The senior teacher's assessment of them held great influence on whether they could continue to stay in the school or not. The dorm's door was opened, and Lu Dai saw 7 students standing outside. He wasn't surprised. It was because quite a number of students had come to seek Jiang Sheng's guidance yesterday. Therefore, he turned and called out, "Jiang Sheng, there are students looking for you to get your guidance." Lu Dai yawned, feeling a little envious. It's good to be rich. Ludai touched his pocket. He didn't have the money to get students to join his side. However, he had his pig trotters, and it would more or less have the same effect in his opinion. Zhang Sheng, there are too many students. Will you be able to cope? Yuan Feng said politely, wearing a smile but feeling very gloomy. Why didn't he have a rich father? It's a small case. Zhang Sheng smoothed out his hair, and after ascertaining that there were no creases on his clothes, he walked out. Take turns, one at a time. You go first. Wang Hao, who was selected, was dumbfounded. He subconsciously asked, what am I supposed to say? N? Zhang Sheng was stunned. Aren't you here to seek guidance? That's right. Wang Hao nodded. Then what do you think you should be saying? Zhang Sheng's tone turned solemn, bearing a little grudge toward Fang Ziliang. He had paid a huge price, but yet Fang Ziliang wasn't reliable at all. Even if he had looked for people to put up an act, he should have looked for a few smarter students. Wang Hao scratched his head, wearing a dazed expression. We're here to look for Teacher Sun Mo, Zhangzhou said and tilted his body, avoiding Zhang Sheng. He then looked into the dorm. Ludai, who had wanted to leave, stopped in his footsteps and turned to look back. Hearing this, Zhang Sheng's countenance turned grim. He glared at Ludai and returned to the dorm. It's not my fault. Ludai didn't know how to react. He had wanted to explain that he had no idea Sun Mo would be so shameless as to have gotten people to put on this act. Seeing Zhang Sheng getting humiliated, Yuan Feng went back under his blankets and almost laughed out loud. Good morning, Teacher Sun. Zhangzhou stood at the door and greeted Sun Mo, who had gotten up after hearing the noises. After the massage from yesterday, his condition was now very good. Teacher Sunday. Wang Hao quickly greeted him as well, smiling brightly. Look at the people he looked for. Their aptitude for acting is so high. This guy's smile looks like he admires Sun Mo from the bottom of his heart. Zhang Sheng was stumped and wanted to go look for Fang Ziliang to get refund. Sun Mo, you must have spent quite a lot of money to hire the help of 7 students. Yuan Feng purposely spoke out loud, wanting to ridicule Sun Mo, putting him in an awkward spot. However, Sun Mo didn't pay him any heed at all. What do you guys want? Sun Mo walked out and stood at the corridor, glancing toward them. His divine sight was activated, and every student's statistics appeared next to them. Amongst them, the one with the highest potential value was only at the average level. Teacher Sun, they're all here to seek your guidance, Zhangzhou explained. I'm not free. After saying that, Sun Mo went downstairs. How could Zhangzhou possibly hide his thoughts from Sun Mo? These people must have come to see things for themselves after hearing about the ancient massage technique. The group exchanged glances after seeing Sun Mo's back view. PFFT Zhang Sheng couldn't help but break out laughing. If a person isn't capable, then it'd be useless even if they were to spend money. That's right. Students came to seek guidance, but the teacher ran off, not giving a single word of guidance. This is such a joke. Yuan Feng gloated. He's just full of trash, so how is he supposed to give them guidance? Zhang Sheng smirked, no longer feeling upset. However, this guy had spent a lot of money in order to stay in school. It probably costs a lot for him to look for so many students at once. Yuan Feng contemplated if he should also borrow money to build up his reputation. Sun Mo looks quite handsome. If he were to sacrifice himself, there'd definitely be people who would want to keep him. Zhang Sheng stroked his chin and said in disdain, he isn't even a teaching assistant, yet he wants to become a teacher. He's dreaming. Sigh. These people are too shameless. They don't show the morals a teacher should have. I'm the innocent one, relying on my own talent. Ludai shook his head and looked at the pig trotter he was holding. He felt that so few people were as honest as he was. Chapter 14. Even rotten wood must be made into something worthy. The students watched Sun Mo's departing figure and exchanged glances amongst themselves. What should we do? Teacher Sun couldn't have been angry, right? Wang Hao was very worried. What would happen if Teacher Sun was angry and refused to give him a massage in the future? Teacher Sun isn't that kind of person, right? Zhangzhou was uncertain as well. He was now regretting speaking too much yesterday. To a cultivator, advancing successfully was something worth celebrating. When Zhangzhou had gone back yesterday, he had called his friends out, reserved a private room at the nature lodge, and given them a treat. While there, he naturally mentioned Sun Mo because his ancient dragon capturing hands had been the one that allowed him to advance. Who didn't have a few friends? Everyone was curious and wanted to come and take a look. Therefore, Zhangzhou, being someone who liked to look good in front of others, brought everyone over early in the morning to meet Sun Mo. Isn't he just someone who lives off a woman? Why is he acting so high and lofty? Someone felt displeased after being given the cold shoulder. Hey, what do you mean that he lives off a woman? If you continue to talk about teacher's son in this manner, we might as well not continue being friends. Zhangzhou was feeling worried if he had offended Sun Mo. Thus, when he heard what the guy was saying, he was infuriated and rebutted harshly. I'm telling you that teacher son's ancient dragon capturing hands is really amazing. When trained to the extreme, he'd even be able to grab an ancient dragon, destroying its body and spirit. Wang Hao boasted, "It's your loss that you guys aren't able to see it." Sun Mo went downstairs to the canteen for his meal. He had slept early the night before and hadn't waited for midnight when the lucky treasure chest was refreshed. However, such reward wouldn't disappear. It would be the same even if he were to open it in the morning. There wasn't any surprise. It was another tuft of soil. System, can I store these things aside and not have them in front of me all the time? Sun Mo stretched his body. All the young men and ladies had already woken up and were practicing their martial techniques in the field, sweating it out. Some of them were under the shade of the trees, memorizing alchemy knowledge. If you blink twice, you can summon out a storage cabinet. If you blink another time, the storage cabinet will disappear. Sun Mo followed the system's hint and blinked twice. A black cube that measured 1 meter on each side floated in front of him. It was pitch black like an inkstone. There were mysterious prints all over it, and it emitted a rustic and extravagant aura. Kaka. The chest was opened up, and there was a storage cabinet inside that could allow him to store items. Sun Mo drew out the wooden blade that emitted a sandalwood scent from his belt, attempting to put it in. That isn't possible. The storage cabinet can only store items that come from the system. The system explained. TSK. Sun Mo was a little disappointed. He thought that he had obtained a spatial storage cabinet. After having his breakfast, Sun Mo went to the library and borrowed the Skywolf Fist manual. He then headed for the warehouse while he studied it. Not long later, Qi Shangjia came as well. If Sun Mo hadn't instructed him to rest well, he would have come here very early and waited. Go through the Skywolf Fist once. Sun Mo instructed. Qi Shangjia didn't dare to be lax, and after taking a few deep breaths, he started practicing the fist technique. He tried to ensure that each move was done perfectly. The important thing about the Skywolf Fist is to be fast and smooth. What are you doing? Sun Mo frowned. Given Sun Mo's outstanding comprehension, after reading it for a few times, he had a faint grasp of this technique. Its trait was that it could launch quick attacks, having a specialty in speed. The prowess of each of its attacks wasn't great, but the user could use it very quickly. Qi Shangjia lowered his head. In order not to make any mistakes, he naturally moved slowly. Don't be afraid of making mistakes. It's better for you to miss your target than to reduce your speed. Sun Mo reprimanded. One more time. Although Qi Shangjia was stupid, he listened to instructions and wouldn't complain. He started practicing seriously again. Sun Mo didn't say anything, so he continued practicing repeatedly. Sun Mo had received the memories of the original owner of this body. Although he was said to be sponging off a woman, he still had some capability. He could guide a student to cultivate a trashy earth tier technique. Not fast enough. Sun Mo wasn't satisfied. Forget about accuracy. Punch out faster. It didn't take long for Qi Shangjia to be drenched in sweat. When Sun Mo told him to take a break, he sat down on the ground, panting vigorously. Have some water. Sun Mo tossed over a deer leather bottle. Gulp, gulp. Qi Shangjia wiped his mouth after having a drink. He looked at Sun Mo's eyes and couldn't help but praise him. Teacher Sun Mo is really amazing. I feel that my practice of the Skywolf Fist is a lot smoother than usual. Ding. +5 favorable impression points from Qi Shangjia. Prestige connection with Qi Shangjia. Current state, neutral. 56 100ths. Sun Mo was stunned upon hearing the system's notification. He then shook his head. Qi Shangjia was really an honest person to be satisfied just because his practice was a lot smoother. What Sun Mo didn't know was that he had cured Qi Shangjia previously. allowing him to see hope when he was in a state of despair. Also, the effects of the circulation technique on Wang Hao and Zhangzhou were quite good. Hence, Qi Shengjie placed great trust in Sun Mo now. He felt that it was his great fortune to be able to receive Sun Mo's personal guidance. Continue after you're done resting. Sun Mo wasn't satisfied. Did he think that he'd be able to defeat his opponents and pass the battle hall's tests with just this bit of improvement? That would be wishful thinking. The Skywolf fist wasn't complicated and only had 12 diagrams. After he memorized all of them, he started to practice it himself. Bang, bang, bang. He punched out like a great storm, waving his arms as fast wind as Qi Shengjie glanced toward Sun Mo every now and then, and gradually couldn't turn his gaze away. In the end, he stopped his practice and looked at Sun Mo with great astonishment. Sun Mo's fist technique started off appearing stiff and immature, but soon became a lot more smooth and well-versed. This, Qi Shengjie stuttered. He was able to tell that Sun Mo's Skywolf fist was extremely smooth even with his inferior skills. There was a flowy beauty when paired with his handsome face. It looked so much better than when he was practicing this technique. Why is that so? Qi Shengjie couldn't understand. He wasn't unfamiliar with the diagrams of the Skywolf fist. It was because he had borrowed it from the library in the past. Looking at Sun Mo, it was clear that this was his first time reading about the Skywolf fist, and his first time practicing it as well. No. That was impossible. One couldn't reach this stage when they were cultivating it for the first time. Sun Mo came to a stop, frowning as he went deep into thought. Teacher, is this the first time you're practicing this fist technique? Qi Shengjie couldn't help but ask. Sun Mo replied, not paying it much heed. However, when Qi Shengjie heard that, he felt as if a ram that was used to break through city walls was smashed into his head, causing him to be stunned. Thereafter, an intense feeling of disappointment appeared on Qi Shengjie's face as he mumbled, I really don't have any talent. Sun Mo didn't see Qi Shengjie immerse in self-grief. He suddenly had an idea and activated his divine sight to read the Skywolf fist's diagrams. He hadn't expected that some data would appear. Bamboo paper, West Mountain charcoal link. Duration of book's completion, 15 years. These were the materials and ink source used to make the diagrams, as well as the time it had existed. However, what was important was the next bit of information. The crux of the Skywolf fist is to be fast, channeling strength into the fingertips, but not exerting full force in the punches. There must be some energy kept in reserve, and the moves must be made smoothly. This is the essence of this fist technique. My divine sight is really amazing. Sun Mo was astonished. He had thought of some of these points, but having the divine sight listing all of them out made everything so clear. It was as if a fog that shrouded one's eyes had suddenly disappeared. Qi Shengjie. Sun Mo spoke up, feeling even more confident in himself. I'm here. Qi Shengjie quickly replied, you're exerting too much force. Huh? But this technique emphasizes a sharp and vicious disposition, so I need to punch out at full power. I had asked 3 teachers in the past and even sought guidance from a few seniors who also cultivate the Skywolf fist. All of them said that I'm supposed to launch every punch with rapid speed and at full power. Qi Shengjie scratched his head, feeling confused. Could it be that Teacher Sun was mistaken? He was stupid. So he referred to the majority's opinions to assess if something was right or wrong. The side with more people would definitely be right. Punching out at full power means that your strength has to reach your fingertips and not just to your palms or arms. You also have to use the strength of your entire body. Sun Mo walked up to Qi Shengjie and poked his chest with a finger. Can you feel it? Huh? Qi Shengjie seemed to have understood something amidst the perplexity. One more time. Sun Mo instructed. Qi Shengjie did as he was told and discovered that his fist prowess became sharper and greater. He couldn't help but cry out in surprise. This is really the case. There's one more thing that you'll have to take note of. Sun Mo knocked Qi Shengjie's stomach. The strength of your entire body is too fierce. Restrain some of it. Qi Shengjie was unable to understand this. All right, face the wall and charge over at full speed. Then, in the instant before you're about to bang into it, dodge. Sun Mo changed his method of teaching. Qi Shengjie answered and then started to dash out. With a bang, he bumped into the wall and even broke his nose. Sun Mo was speechless. Teacher, Qi Shengjie rubbed his nose. Did I do it correctly? One more time. This time around, hold back a bit of your strength. Dodge just before you're about to knock into the wall. Sun Mo made a personal demonstration. Qi Shengjie did as he was told, but he still knocked into the wall. However, this time around, the impact was a lot lighter. Do you understand it now? After Sun Mo asked this, he saw Qi Shengjie shaking his head. For that moment, Sun Mo had the urge to draw out his wooden blade and split Qi Shengjie's head open. As expected of someone with low potential value, he was extremely slow in the 2 attempts of dodging, which was easier. The second time, Qi Shengjie was able to sense this. That's right, the Skywolf Fist seeks speed and continuity. However, when you perform each move with full power, there'll be a delay before you proceed with the next fist. You should reserve some strength. The essence of this fist technique isn't to perform it at full power, but to be continuous and fast. Sun Mo backed off. One more time. Qi Shengjie continued to do as he was told, but he was so dense that Sun Mo had the urge to beat him. I must find a student with erupting potential value at the student recruitment meet. Although Sun Mo was complaining, he didn't like to give up. Since he had taken on this task, he was going to do his best. After channeling your strength to your fingertips, punch out with 70% of your power. Sun Mo instructed him again. Since Qi Shengjie was stupid, then Sun Mo should use a stupid way to teach him. He let Qi Shengjie slowly increase the amount of his strength until he reached the limits in which his flow wouldn't be affected. After practicing for 67 times, Qi Shengjie finally understood what Sun Mo meant. He also figured out how much strength he should use in his punches. Teacher, I think I understand it now. Qi Shengjie was overjoyed. I feel that the prowess of my punches has increased. I want to head to the Combat Strength Dojo to test it out. Chapter 15, Increase in Combat Strength. The Combat Strength Dojo was located at the south side of the academy. It was roughly the size of a soccer field and mainly constructed from bricks. The roof was curled up beautifully, completing the dojo's visually stirring appearance of the 8 trigrams and 5 elements. One had to climb up a flight of 36 steps to enter the Combat Strength Dojo. After that, they would find 12 sites with the Combat Strength Bronze Man in each of them. The Combat Strength Bronze Men were 3 meters tall, and their entire bodies were forged with bronze. As they had been enduring the attacks of students all year round, wear and tear could be seen on certain parts of their bodies. These bronze men were forged from uncommon metal ingredients from the Darkness continent, and their ability to endure damage was extremely strong. Also, after being attacked, there was a type of mysterious golden sand that would emit dazzling light in their stomach. The motes of light would then form into certain shapes. If the degree of damage caused to the bronze man was the same every time you hit it, the shape emitted from these grains of golden sand would also be the same. Using this characteristic, the Saint Gate collected a large amount of data, and each of the light forms was recorded down and corresponded to a certain value. Hence, the Combat Strength Bronze Man could test the attack power of each cultivator. Although there was a difference, the margin of error was very small. Is this the black technology of Middle-earth? As he thought back to the information of the Combat Strength Bronze Man, Sun Mo felt excited. In the 9 continents, those who could create such items were known as mechanists. It was also a job that required quite a high IQ. Teacher, over here. Because there weren't so many people, Qi Shengjie chose the first site on the left. After the people before him finished, he immediately displayed his Skywolf Fist, slamming his punches into the bronze man's head. He wanted to see just how much his combat strength had surged after his breakthrough. Bang! The bronze men didn't have legs. They were attached to a large metal plate and were buried 10 meters below the earth. Hence, they were extremely stable. The creator of these bronze men is definitely a pervert. Sun Mo walked over as he mumbled. His gaze landed on the abdomen of one of the bronze men. The area was glowing and he could clearly see golden light flowing. A few seconds later, a special shape was formed, and it glowed before gradually dimming. And after about 10 seconds, it reverted to its original shape. Combat strength of only 39? I didn't improve at all. Qi Shengjie had a look of disappointment on his face. In the past, his score was 37, and that was when he was at the 3RD level of the body refinement realm. The cultivation system had been developed since long ago and had experienced many modifications. Thus, the system could be considered very perfect now. Combat strength also had a publicly acknowledged standard. The combat strength of ordinary people was 5. The body refinement realm was split into 9 levels. The lowest combat strength of someone at the 40H level was 40, and the lowest combat strength of someone at the 5TH level was 50. So, in a similar fashion, the lowest combat strength of someone at the 9TH level was 90. If one's combat strength could break the 100 point, that would mean a pretty excellent result. It represented that the person's aptitude wasn't bad and that he was ready to try and break through to the spirit refinement realm. Naturally, these values weren't absolute and were for reference only. After all, geniuses were something that couldn't be evaluated normally. The numbers they hit would usually cause the eyeballs of people to explode in shock. Staring at the number Qi Shengjie achieved, Sun Mo's lips twitched a little. Forget it. This was the hole he dug himself. He could only stop his tears and jump down it. You just broke through to the 40H level and haven't stabilized your realm. It's normal for you to get this value. Sun Mo consoled him. Is that so? Qi Shengjie's expression became much more relaxed after hearing that. Yes. Sun Mo knew that some children who felt self-inferior needed to be praised. If not, their mental states would worsen as they grew up. Actually, when one just broke through to the 40H level, they should be able to achieve the lowest standard score of 40. I'll try punching again. Qi Shengjie's expression was heavy. He breathed deeply for over a minute, and when he felt that his state was at his best, he ferociously punched out. Bang! The combat strength bronze man's lower abdomen shone. Golden sand flowed, weaving into a certain shape. 40. I did it this time. Qi Shengjie happily called out. Ha ha ha. The few students at the side couldn't help but cover their mouths as their laughter rang out. The shape formed from the golden sand corresponded to a certain value. Everyone had long since memorized the corresponding values to the shapes. When they saw the shape that corresponded to the 40 point, a sense of superiority rose in their hearts. Preparing for a minute only to achieve the lowest value. How stupid. Some of the students were mumbling. They already heard Sun Mo's words. This lean-looking student just broke through to the 40H level of the body refinement realm. When they were at the same level, their lowest result was 42, 43. Test out your combo. Sun Mo merged with his original body's memories. When he thought back, he remembered the information of the combat bronze men. The bronze men could test the peak attack power of a cultivator, including the average attack value of a combo within 1 minute. For ordinary evenly matched combat, it was impossible for one to defeat their enemies in a single blow. Hence, the average value of a continuous combo was then the true power of a cultivator. Qi Shengjie slowly exhaled. He used his full strength and unleashed the Skywolf Fist, blasting it into the body of the combat strength bronze man. Bang, bang, bang. The bronze man didn't even sway slightly. On the contrary, when Qi Shengjie's cloth shoes stepped onto the surface, a cloud of dust and soil flew up from the impact. After Qi Shengjie finished, the abdomen area of the bronze man emitted golden light, and the motes of light gradually rearranged themselves into a certain shape. 39. Qi Shengjie wanted to cry. He no longer dared to even look at Sun Mo. At this time, the few students in the surroundings did nothing to mask their laughter. Truly, his movements looked as fierce as a tiger, but he turned out to be trash. How did I teach you earlier? Have you forgotten it so quickly? Sun Mo's expression turned heavy as he berated. He didn't feel surprised by this result. The attack power of a combo would definitely be lesser than a single full force punch. Oh. Qi Shengjie clapped his forehead. He hurriedly recalled Sun Mo's teaching. Channel your strength into your fingertips. Gather your full power in your fist, but you must withhold a hint of power. Qi Shengjie muttered as he punched out again. Bang, bang, bang. The bronze man let out a buzzing sound from the impact. Isn't it the same as before? The few students at the side who were waiting to use the bronze man all felt that Qi Shengjie was wasting time when they saw his performance. 41. Qi Shengjie saw the shape of the light and involuntarily cried out in surprise. This number was much higher than he expected. Ding. Favorable impression points from Qi Shengjie plus 20. Prestige connection with Qi Shengjie, neutral. 76 100ths. The students there were also stunned. What did he do? I feel that his punching form didn't change. Why is the result so much higher? In the officially published standard, every increase of 1 in the attack value represented that one's attacking power had improved by quite a bit. It was very normal for someone to be stuck on the same attack value even after training for a few months. Hence, this wasn't as simple as an increase of 2 points. When converted into destructive might, it represented quite a large amount of increase. However, the key point was that this Dumbo didn't seem to have done anything special. Sun Mo shook his head and urged, again. Oh, Qi Shengjie might be dumb, but he had a good point, and that was that he was very obedient. He concentrated his attention completely and launched his strikes. In the end, the value was 41. Continue. Sun Mo didn't call for him to stop. Qi Shengjie simply continued attacking. There were a total of 12 combat strength bronze men in the combat strength dojo. There were empty slots, but the students who were waiting here didn't leave. All of them stood at their original location and waited because none of them understood the reason for the increase in Qi Shengjie's combat strength. Although the value fluctuated, the overall trend was increasing. The last attack value he got was fixed at 44. Is this a joke? There was a student who subconsciously called out in disbelief. One could tell that this docile-looking student, Qi Shengjie, was someone ranked at the bottom of his class with just a look. How did he manage to do that? Other people didn't say anything. They stared at the abdomen of the combat strength bronze man and thought that their vision might be blurry. Teacher, your guidance is really correct. Qi Shengjie had a look of worship on his face as he looked at Sun Mo. Tears flashed in his eyes. A combat strength of 44 wasn't bad. For the entrance test of the battle hall this time around, he would at least have a 50% chance of passing. Ding. Favorable impression points from Qi Shengjie plus 32. Prestige connection with Qi Shengjie, friendly. 108 1,000ths. Teacher. Upon hearing this title, the students around immediately turned to look at Sun Mo. So young? I've never seen him before. He should be an intern teacher, right? He seemed to be quite capable. Should we seek his guidance? The few students mumbled. All of a sudden, they heard a clamor that grew increasingly louder. Turning their heads, they saw many students rushing toward the entrance. Which great teacher is here? The loud-mouthed student's spirit stirred. He immediately rushed over, and his other comrades weren't willing to lag behind. In this situation, even if they couldn't receive any guidance from that great teacher, it would still be of help if they could listen to the advice the great teacher was giving others. Qi Shengjie stood on tiptoe and was looking over as well. However, he was embarrassed to leave just like that since Sun Mo was beside him. Sun Mo didn't notice this because the system's notifications were still not over. Congratulations. Prestige connection with Qi Shengjie or reached friendly. Reward. 1 lucky treasure chest. Please continue to work hard. Congratulations. On the journey to become a great teacher, this is the first friendly student you gained. Reward. 1 lucky treasure chest. Note, you are advancing through the path of great teachers. Continue your great work. Hey, what's above friendly? Sun Mo asked. Prestige connection can be divided into 6 levels. They are cold, neutral, friendly, respect, reverence, and worship respectively. As long as the prestige connection of a target isn't unlocked, the state would always be cold. The system's explanation was simple to understand. Is worship the highest level? What benefits would I get if I maxed it out? Sun Mo was very curious. Why don't you take a guess? The system counter-asked. Come on out. I promise not to beat you to death. Sun Mo cracked his fingers. For every increase in prestige level, the favorable impression points needed would be 10 times the previous one. The system's voice was like a bucket of cold water. It wasn't that easy to gather so many points. Teacher, it's Teacher Gu. Qi Shengjie tugged Sun Mo's sleeves, feeling a little agitated. Who? Sun Mo frowned. He originally planned to open his lucky treasure chests after some prayers, but now that he was distracted by Qi Shengjie, He felt that his luck had been broken. Lottery draws were a metaphysical thing. There was no need to care if it was effective or not. Sun Mo would just pray first and hope for the best. Gixiuk Sun, a top graduate of the Zhongzhou Academy. It's said that she is still the campus queen from her batch. Qi Shengjie replied. Sun Mo inclined his head and saw Gixiuk Sun directly walking over. Beside her, Jiang Sheng was smiling. It was unknown what he was saying, but Jiang Sheng was pointing toward him. Comment. Chapter 16, Honor Graduate. Gixiuk Sun was extremely famous in the Zhongzhou Academy, as she was the honor graduate of this year. This also meant that out of the 2,000 graduates from the 18th batch, she was their top genius. Given Gixiuk Sun's aptitude and achievement, it had long since been decided that she would join the faculty. She was someone whom Xin Hui had personally paid a visit to and spent a huge amount of money to recruit over. In Jinling City, even a 3-year-old child knew that the Central Province Academy and Zhongzhou Academy were arch-enemies. This move by Xin Hui had greatly dulled the sharpness of the Zhongzhou Academy. It also allowed the Central Province Academy that had always been suppressed to feel exaltation. Someone cursed Gixiuk Sun for being a traitor. Others cursed her for being a white-eyed wolf that only saw money and had forgotten the school that had nurtured her. However, the fiercer the curses and scoldings, the more it proved that the Zhongzhou Academy couldn't endure pain. Their losses were extremely huge. With the halo of the honor graduate, Gixiuk Sun would naturally attract the full attention of everyone when she came to the Central Province Academy. Naturally, her graceful bearing also caused those who saw her to praise that Xin Hui had benefited. Gixiuk Sun, who was 19, was now at the most beautiful time of her life. However, because she matured early, the puerile look on her face had faded, and a steady maturity replaced it. Gixiuk Sun didn't laugh, and her mouth was always pressed together into a thin line. This was a minor trick she used to maintain her teacher's prestige. How beautiful! The crowd was mumbling to each other incessantly. There were even some guy students who hurriedly ran to a combat strength bronze man and took out their most serious attitude as they hit it. They hoped their results could be seen by Gixiuk Sun, and she would accept them as her personal disciple. Gixiuk Sun's figure wasn't tall, but because she was more on the slim side, she appeared taller than guys with ordinary height. She was clad in the school's long robe for intern teachers. The style was old and rigid, but Gixiuk Sun evidently made some changes to that. The robes covering her chest and waist area had some additional folds, which made her figure appear even more lithe and graceful. Is there something wrong with the food in Tang country? Sun Mo's lips twitched. She was yet another sunny side up. Small BR asked. Sun Mo, in order to join the faculty, you are truly unscrupulous. Jiang Sheng spoke. If it wasn't for the fact that he still had some rationale and knew some words shouldn't be said, he really wanted to ask how much did Sun Mo spend to hire all these actors. However, Sun Mo's brain was really good. Not only did he hire actors, but he even came to a place like the Combat Strength Dojo to act. By doing so, his fame would certainly spread. Why didn't I think of this? Jiang Sheng felt vexed in his heart. He had always flaunted himself as someone whose intelligence was off the charts. But for this matter, he completely couldn't compare with Sun Mo. But it's fine. My intellect is used on the correct path. Sun Mo likes to play all these minor tricks so much, he would be out of luck sooner or later. Jiang Sheng consoled himself. When he glanced at Sun Mo again, his eyes shifted a little and exuded a thick sense of superiority. Gixiuk Sun furrowed her brows. As a top student, her IQ index wasn't low. By thinking a little, she understood the meaning of Jiang Sheng's words. In truth, Gixiuk Sun had no interest in these intern teachers. Other than Qin Fen and the other graduates from the 9 famous schools, no one could catch her attention, including Jiang Sheng, who kept trying to bootlick her. But when she heard the name Sun Mo, she still subconsciously cast a glance over. So that is Headmaster N's fiancée. Gixiuk Sun surveyed Sun Mo and discovered that he was looking at her as well. But that was nothing strange. Through these many years, as an honor graduate with both beauty and ability, she was used to being in such a situation. In any case, even if he took a few more glances at me, he wouldn't be able to see my ability. Gixiuk Sun was very calm. She has an extremely high potential value? how awesome, and Xin Huai's judgment is really accurate. Sun Mo had long since activated divine sight and was staring at the data floating from Gixuk Sun's body. It was truly a sight that delighted the eye. Strength, 26. Above average. Intellect, 27. Extremely rare, not even 1 in 10,000. Your intellect can crush the vast majority of people. Agility, 28. Fast speed, when you run, many people are left behind in your dust. Will, 25. Average stat, there's room for improvement. Endurance, 22. Your only shortcoming. Sun Mo read through everything, and the last part was the note from the system. As a sunny-side-up girl, although you no longer have room for growth, you should feel happy as you are not a steel-plate girl. Flat steel-plate girl. Sun Mo laughed. System, what's going on with these stats? An ordinary adult male would have 5 points in every stat respectively. Those at the body refinement realm would have 10 points per stat, spirit refinement realm would have 20 points per stat, and the limit of blood ignition realm would be 30 per stat. The system explained. As you cultivate, the cultivator's various stats would gradually rise. If not, why would cultivators be immune to 100 diseases and gain increased longevity? The limit is 30. In that case, the stat values of this Gixuk Sun can be considered really outstanding. Sun Mo clicked his tongue. Seems like there are some mistakes in your understanding of the term outstanding. The system corrected. The word outstanding isn't worthy to be used on this girl. How are my stats? Why can't I see them? Sun Mo had tried using divine sight on his reflection in the mirror, wanting to see his stats. However, the stats displayed were of an unknown value. It's impossible for the host to check his own stats. The system explained. Oi, have you seen enough? It's very rude to act like this. Seeing Sun Mo keep staring at Gixuk Sun, Zhang Sheng took a step forward and blocked his line of view. Sun Mo leaned to the side and continued staring, because at the thigh area of Gixuk Sun, another note appeared. When this spot is stimulated by an ache or pain, it will generate excitement. Upon seeing this data, Sun Mo started. Was this the legendary M-type? He didn't expect that he would meet someone like this in real life. Gixuk Sun's beautiful brows furrowed. Given her personality, she would never dodge any gazes directed at her. But when their gazes met and she saw his large, clearly defined eyes, her heart pounded rapidly all of a sudden, and she subconsciously averted her gaze. His eyes seemed as though they could see through the hearts of people. Gixuk Sun felt as if all her deepest secrets had been discovered. I actually evade his gaze. Gixuk Sun gave herself a self-mocking laugh. Oi, are you done or not? Zhang Sheng grew unhappy. He stretched out his hand to push Sun Mo, feeling as though the rice at his home had been stolen by someone. Sun Mo didn't retreat. His right hand grabbed hold of the black sandalwood blade on his waist. Teachers, please calm down. A docile male student with large ears followed beside Gixuk Sun. Upon seeing this, he immediately took a step forward and blocked the space between the two of them. Zhang Yanzong had a smile across his face, and no one would feel any malice from him. If I hit him, I'm afraid he might die from my blow. Zhang Sheng was filled with disdain. Zhang Yanzong, go and hit the combat strength bronze man and start the test. Gixuk Sun instructed. As for the scenes of men fighting because of her, she had seen too many of such things. Sun Mo, did you pay this student to be an actor? How much did you spend? Zhang Sheng mocked. He originally didn't wish to expose Sun Mo, but his goddess was just beside him. He had to win beautifully. I'm sorry then, you can only become my stepping stone. Zhang Sheng's gaze was filled with superiority, like he was looking at an ant that he was about to trample. Because of these words, people in the surroundings started whispering. Teacher Zhang, don't talk nonsense. Qi Shangjie was badly frightened and hurriedly sought to clear their names. If this matter was believed by everyone and became the truth, not only would Sun Mo be affected, but Qi Shangjie would also be expelled. Gixuk Sun's brows furrowed again. Her impression of Zhang Sheng wasn't too good. Although this was a possibility, there was no evidence whatsoever. Slandering Sun Mo in public would undoubtedly damage his reputation. Today, 7 students were waiting for you outside our dorm early in the morning. sincerely begging you to guide them. As an intern teacher, you are truly very awesome. You are almost at the level of Qin Fen and Gixuk-sun, Zhang Sheng mocked. Is his brain too dumb or what? Even if he is getting them to put on an act, isn't that a little too exaggerated? Gixuk-sun mumbled silently to herself. She believed that she had done her job as a teaching assistant well, but it wasn't that well to the extent that there would be 7 students coming to her door early in the morning to seek her guidance. Upon noticing Gixuk-sun's expression, Zhang Sheng became even more complacent. His brain spun rapidly and searched for loopholes to attack Sun Mo. He then glanced at a familiar-looking student. "What's your name?" Chi Shengjie. Chi Shengjie was very nervous, and this was especially so given that he was standing beside Gixuk-sun. This was something he had never once dared to imagine. As he smelled the fragrance from the beautiful intern teacher, his thoughts were in a whirl and sweat flowed down his back. This is the honor graduate of this year from the Zhongzhou Academy, a true top student. If you have any questions, you can seek guidance from her. Zhang Sheng knew how to act in such a situation. Not only did he strike at Sun Mo, but he also created a chance for Gixuk-sun to display her abilities. Chi Shengjie started as he glanced at Gixuk-sun. In terms of martial arts, he truly had many questions. However, after his mouth opened and closed a few times, he shook his head. "It's fine, teacher Sun Mo has already answered my questions for me." Whispering sounds rang out. Many people were hissing in displeasure. In their eyes, Gixuk-sun was overflowing with talent and had a beautiful appearance. She was simply a goddess. They would naturally choose to stand with her. Seeing that Chi Shengjie was not seeking guidance, wasn't this a case of giving someone face but that person didn't want any? No matter how anyone looked at it, Sun Mo was simply inferior to Gixuk-sun. "You are his personal disciple?" Zhang Mo ridiculed. "If you are, there's basically no need to seek other teachers out for their opinions, as this would be disrespectful to your teacher. This student is too stupid. I'm not worthy to be teacher Sun's personal disciple." Chi Shengjie lowered his head and had a downcast expression. He knew he was stupid, hence, he had thought about this before, but he hadn't dared to speak up and ask Sun Mo to accept him as a personal disciple. Sun Mo, you didn't waste your money indeed. Zhang Sheng's words left the rest for the audience to infer. But the acting skills of this person named Chi Shengjie was not bad. "Stop your nonsense." Gixuk-sun put a stop to this. She looked down on Zhang Sheng for many things. As for Chi Shengjie's reply, she basically didn't put it in her heart. He was just an actor. If not, when given a rare chance to consult with someone like her for guidance, how could ordinary people give it up? She still had this bit of confidence. Hence, when she glanced at Sun Mo, Gixuk-sun's gaze became filled with some loathing. Headmaster is such a perfect woman. Even if she had no choice and had to marry someone, she wouldn't have chosen a scheming person like him who likes to play minor tricks, right? If I don't rebut, you are really going to climb over my head, right? Sun Mo coldly laughed as he glanced at Zhang Yanzong before turning to Zhang Sheng. "Didn't you self-proclaim to be overflowing with talent, and you will become a great teacher within a year? Tell me then, what's the problem with this student's fist technique? Testing me?" Zhang Sheng sneered. "Open your dog eyes wide." The fist technique he is executing is called the thunderclap fist. Each of his movements is as fast as a thunderbolt, creating sonic booms. This is the sign of the major completion stage of the thunderclap fist. "You actually asked me what's his problem? Tell me, are you retarded or what?" "He has an old injury on his right arm." Sun Mo's manner of speaking was neither hurried nor slow. Chapter 17, Promise Me, Don't Become a Bootlicker. What? Zhang Sheng rubbed his ears and involuntarily laughed. Look at how smooth his actions are when executing the thunderclap fist. Yet, you said that his right arm had an injury? Yes, there's an injury. Sun Mo was sure. Through the divine sight, he saw a row of data from Zhang Yanzong's right arm, and it indicated that his muscles were slightly strained due to an injury. Ignorant. Zhang Sheng sneered. He couldn't be bothered to reply. He glanced at Zhang Yanzong. Whether there was an injury or not, he just needed to get the person in question to reply. This was the most persuasive method. Sun Mo definitely will lose all his face here. Finding actors to boost his reputation. I'm going to destroy your reputation completely. Zhang Sheng felt joy in his heart. A guy who lived off a woman, if such a person was scolded by him, that person should simply be prepared to be castigated. However, Sun Mo even dared to rebut. He truly didn't know how to write the word death. Zhang Yanzong, who had been smiling all this while, froze. His smile stiffened upon hearing the word injury as he glanced at Gixuk Sun. Gixuk Sun's red lips were slightly parted as she stared with astonishment at Sun Mo. Zhang Yozong's training load had always been very great. Last week, something had finally happened. He had pulled his muscles and sprained his arm. She even reprimanded him because of this, and this matter was only known by her. Zhang Sheng wasn't a fool. When he saw Zhang Yozong's silence, he suddenly felt uneasy. Just when he was thinking about how to save himself, Sun Mo, who had a poisonous tongue, started his attack. You have a muscle pull on your right arm. However, it isn't simply due to your large training load. There's also an old injury. Sun Mo calmly looked at Zhang Yozong and spotted another stream of data. How do you know this? Zhang Yozong called out, a look of astonishment on his face. He didn't even mention this to Gixuk Sun. When his words came out, everyone here was in an uproar. Zhang Yozong only hit the combat strength bronze man, and Sun Mo could already tell that he had an injury. How powerful must his judgment be? You definitely must have guessed it. Zhang Sheng coldly snorted. Your desire to survive is very strong. Zhang Yozong felt that Zhang Sheng was correct. If Sun Mo couldn't clean his name, his reputation would be ruined. Hence, he had to think of a solution to retaliate. Zhang Sheng, enough. Gixuk Sun's voice was clear and cold. She felt Zhang Sheng was too overbearing. Zhang Sheng's lips twitched when he heard that. He wanted to curse. You are someone full who doesn't know the feeling of hunger. For this year, a total of 216 intern teachers came to the Central Province Academy. But in the end, Xin Huai would only select 15 at most. Gixuk Sun already had a slot because Xin Huai had personally spent a huge amount of money to recruit her. Qin Fen, Zhang Lan, Gao Ben were graduates from the 9 famous schools, and they would also join the faculty for sure. This meant that the remaining people out of the 216 intern teachers had to fight for 11 slots. This was an odds close to 20 to 1. Although Zhang Sheng was arrogant, he didn't feel that with his strength alone, he could secure a slot. When he thought about not being able to join the faculty, he would feel jealous of Sun Mo. Most of them graduated from Zhongzhou Academy, and thus Zhang Sheng knew that Sun Mo was far inferior when compared to him. But because Sun Mo had a fiancée like Xin Huai, if there were no unexpected incidents, it could almost be guaranteed that he could join the faculty. What does he have? His handsome face. Or just because he is childhood sweethearts with Xin Huai? During the private chats among intern teachers, many of them would mock Sun Mo. Thus, when they saw him being tossed into the logistics department by the vice headmaster Zhang Han, all of them were so happy that they wanted to clap and dance. Although the intern teachers were staying in the same dorm building, it didn't mean that they would move, eat, and have fun together. In everyone's heart, each of them was hiding a ruthless aura, preparing to trample on the others. This was because all of them were competitors. If they could obtain a slot and remain in the school, their future life would be bright. Those who were eliminated could only seek out other schools and hope to be employed. But after missing out on the graduate period, they would have to wait until next year before the other schools would hire intern teachers. Life is so difficult. When he thought of this, Zhang Sheng felt a multitude of emotions in his heart. This was the life of ordinary graduates. It was filled with competition, and things were different for graduates from famous schools. Even before those people graduated, many schools would use a high salary to headhunt them. Sun Mo could deduce the reason why Zhang Sheng was targeting him. Back then when he was employed, he also passed through a series of tests. In the same batch, there was an extremely unlucky fellow. That fellow also passed the test, but because the slots for intern teachers suddenly got reduced by one, that unlucky fellow, who had the worst results, were eventually dropped. It was inevitable. Zhang Sheng had a father that possessed authority and status. He was just so impressive to the point of being able to bend the rules and allow his son to get one spot. Back then, Sun Mo also envied him. He didn't expect that right now. He was the one being envied instead. Wait, something is wrong. I'm not confirmed to join the faculty yet. During these few days, Xin Huai also didn't meet with me. Besides, there are plenty of people among the higher-ups that are planning to deal with me to suppress Xin Huai. Sun Mo's situation was actually very bad. This was why the logistics department head could instruct Li Gong to find a chance to kick Sun Mo out of the school. HMPH, a soft tri-sky with no capabilities. It's shameful to even talk with him. Zhang Sheng grumbled. After hearing Xue Sun's words, he didn't dare to annoy her. He then put on an expression I can't be bothered with you when he looked at Sun Mo. Zhang Sheng. This student has an injury on his right arm. When he displayed the thunderclap fist, he could only display 90% of its effects. Yet you are still bragging. Are you blind? Sun Mo mocked. If you want to join the faculty, make sure you learn well and improve your ability as a teaching assistant. Stop being a bootlicker who licks the smelly feet of women. Who did you say was a bootlicker? Zhang Sheng glared at Sun Mo. His eyes protruded out slightly due to rage, resembling large grapes. Sun Mo's manner was like an elder teaching a junior a lesson. What capabilities did he have to do this? Xue Sun's expression stiffened. Her feet that were hidden in her cloth shoes subconsciously scratched the ground. She knew Sun Mo wasn't referring to her specifically when he spoke about smelly feet, but she still felt uncomfortable hearing that. Regardless of talent or capabilities, the current you is inferior to Xue Sun in everything. Sun Mo laughed lightly. Stop putting on the face of a bootlicker, she would only look down on you even more. Could it be that you think you are worthy? Zhang Sheng roared. He sneakily cast a worried glance at Xue Sun and saw a hint of pride in the center of her brows. She didn't seem to have any intentions of saying words in his defense. For such a proud woman like Xue Sun, she would only look for more outstanding men. But I'm not wooing her. Sun Mo's lips twitched as he shrugged. Ah? Zhang Sheng was stunned, and his face turned red. In the end, his heart became filled with envy, jealousy, and hatred. That was true. Why would Sun Mo want to woo Xue Sun? His fiancée was Xin Huai, a genius from the Heavenly Mystery Academy that was rarely seen even in 100 years. She was also an honor graduate and a 3-star great teacher. As an undisputed campus queen of her year, someone ranked number 7 on the devastating beauty rankings. She was publicly acknowledged as a great beauty by many schools in the 9 provinces. Regardless of talent, beauty, fame, or prestige, Xue Sun and Xin Huai weren't on the same level. Xue Sun's expression turned unsightly, and she cast a deep glance at Sun Mo. This fellow's tongue wasn't just poisonous, he would also seek revenge for the slightest grievance, not willing to suffer the slightest loss. When Sun Mo walked past Zhang Sheng, he stopped to pat his shoulder and spoke in a heavy tone as though trying to persuade Zhang Sheng. Promise me, as a man, you shouldn't be a bootlicker, alright? Many students, who were watching the show, involuntarily laughed when they heard this. A minority of them showed dim looks of sorrow. After all, some also silently admired this goddess Xue Sun in their hearts and wanted to woo her. Teacher is so toxic. Qi Shengji sighed in admiration and hurriedly followed behind Sun Mo. Zhang Sheng clenched his fist tightly, and his bones let out creaking sounds. He really felt like punching Sun Mo to death, but he didn't dare to. Once they fought in front of so many students, it would create negative influence and they had an 80% to 90% chance of being fired. Zhang Yozong, let's go. Xue Sun called out as she headed to a corner. Xue Sun. Zhang Sheng hurriedly called out, wanting to gain back some favorable impression. Xue Sun completely ignored him. Xue Sun. Xue Sun. Zhang Sheng panicked and chased after her. Enough. Don't call me Xue Sun. Are we that familiar with each other? Xue Sun turned her head and berated him. Hee, how tragic. Sigh, he can't even suppress a soft tri-sky. Seems like Zhang Sheng's capabilities are just like that. What is his name? Zhang Sheng. I can tell he doesn't have the fate of being a great teacher just by hearing his name. Zhang Sheng saw the cold look in Xue Sun's eyes and froze on the spot. The whispers and mumblings of the students also entered his ears, all of them were negative. He could no longer endure it and hurriedly covered his mouth with his hands. Zhang Sheng was so angered that he coughed out a mouthful of blood. Sun Mo, I'll remember this grudge. I'll definitely destroy your reputation. You want to marry an Xin Huai? Just go and continue dreaming. His mouth was filled with the smell of blood. This caused Zhang Sheng to hate Sun Mo even more. Sun Mo naturally also had no thoughts of sparing Zhang Sheng. This fellow publicly said that he hired actors to boost his own reputation. This action of his was simply filled with malicious intent. If this circulated out, it would surely affect his reputation. One must know that let alone a great teacher, just an ordinary teacher would also treasure their reputation. After all, no schools would want to hire a teacher with a bad reputation. In the combat strength dojo, the students did their utmost as they hit the bronze men, hoping their efforts would be seen by Gixuk-sun. Sadly, her attention wasn't focused on them. Zhang Yozong, what do you think? Did he really manage to see that there's an injury in your right arm? As someone who knew about this, Gixuk-sun could naturally tell that Zhang Yozong had been holding some strength back with his right arm when he had displayed the thunderclap fist earlier. Before I hit the bronze man, I rubbed my right wrist. He might have seen it. Zhang Yozong analyzed. Based on that, he should have come to the judgment that I have an injury. If not, he must have guessed it randomly. Gixuk-sun fell silent. She recalled the exchange between Sun Mo and Zhang Sheng in her mind. She discovered that from the beginning to the end, Sun Mo was incomparably calm. Even when Zhang Sheng had accused him of finding actors, others would surely be extremely defensive, but Sun Mo didn't. His unperturbed attitude was truly unexpected. But his tongue is very poisonous, hinting that my feet are smelly. Next time I'll stuff my feet into his mouth. Gixuk-sun's ruby lips twitched, and she decided not to think about this temporarily. Her opponents were Qin Fen and the two others from the famous schools, as well as the unfathomable higher-ups of the school. As she wanted to help headmaster and to safeguard this school, any other matters were not a priority for her. Next would be the entry test for the battle hall, and she had to amaze everyone with a single brilliant feat. With Zhang Yozong's talent, in addition to her guidance for him, there shouldn't be any unexpected incidents. Chapter 18, Battle Hall's Test. Sun Mo didn't like crowds. Hence, he would wake up earlier and head to the canteen to have breakfast before the peak period. I'll get some steamed dumplings and one porridge for takeaway. I don't want the salted veggies. Sun Mo calculated the money he had in his pocket. Although it wasn't healthy to eat meat in the morning, the steamed dumplings of the canteen were extremely delicious. After moving out of the dorm building, he went on to a path leading to the sports field. He could see many intern teachers finishing their morning practice, and they were currently on their way back. Due to the competitive nature of their current situation, it seemed as though there were no mutual greetings among them. Their gazes were filled with disregard for each other. Teacher Sun. Sun Mo heard someone addressing him with an honorific, and he couldn't help but feel astonished. When he glanced toward the voice, he saw a young girl with exquisite features standing below a maple tree at the side. Oh, it's you? Sun Mo felt a little surprised. The young girl wore men's clothes that were tailored fit for her. However, her fair skin, her gentle-looking exquisite features, her slender figure. Everyone could tell that she was a girl with just a glance. This girl was none other than Li Ziki, the person who had wanted to save him but ended up almost drowning herself. The system had also assumed a mission, wanting Sun Mo to accept her as his student. Teacher Sun. Li Ziki smiled sweetly. Her eyes, where the shades of white and black were clearly distinct, immediately curved into shapes of the crescent moon. However, just as she jogged over, her feet tripped on a flagstone after a few steps. Pack. Li Ziki was like a frying pan as she fell and slammed into the limestone slab. Are you alright? Sun Mo was badly frightened. He hurried over to help her up, but he soon stopped. Li Ziki had directly covered her head with her arms and curled into a ball. Boo-hoo, I lost face again. Why am I so stupid? Li Ziki really wanted to find a hole and hide in it. Because of your kindness, this ant can continue to admire the scenery of this world. Sun Mo didn't go to help her up. Instead, he squatted at the side and was staring at an ant that was passing by. Li Ziki started. You really are a kind girl. Sun Mo smiled. He picked that ant up and showed it to her. Li Ziki was still in a daze. but she soon understood. Sun Mo thought that she fell down on purpose in order to avoid stepping on the ant. She turned from a stupid girl into a kind girl in an instant. After managing to save her face, happiness bloomed in Li Ziqi's heart. No one has ever treated me like this. Li Ziqi felt very strange. In the past, when she fell down, her servants, guards, and aunties would be extremely frightened and hurry over to console her. But today, this was the first time she had a different experience. By saying such words, she didn't feel the embarrassment she had felt in the past. Instead, she even felt a little joyful. "Have you eaten yet?" Sun Mo put the ant down and passed over a handkerchief. "Yes, I've eaten." Li Ziqi took the handkerchief, slightly started. Only then did she realize that the area above her mouth was wet. Evidently, the skin of her nose was grazed a little, and there was fresh blood flowing down. She hurriedly wiped the blood away with the handkerchief. "What are you doing here?" Sun Mo wasn't narcissistic enough to believe that she was here to look for him. "The student recruitment meet will begin 3 days later, and the battle hall's test is today. Hence, I came earlier to take a look." Li Ziqi glanced at the blood on the handkerchief and she blushed. "I'll return it to you after I wash it clean." The battle hall of the Central Province Academy was pretty famous in Jinling City. The students in there were all experts who were proficient in combat. If there were students who wished to have some attainments in martial arts, there was no mistake if they chose to join here. There are so many people. Li Ziqi saw many students gathered outside the battle hall. She was involuntarily speechless. Are they all challengers? Yup. Sun Mo was searching for Qi Shengjia's silhouette. Some of these students were praying, some were using the time to warm up, some had faces filled with confidence, and some were chatting idly with the people beside them. The fame of the battle hall was too great. Hence, for the entry test held once every 3 months, the number of participants would be filled to the brim. In fact, there had been situations where some members of the battle hall had to have 3 or 4 fights in a day. In order to avoid such a situation, the hall leader of the battle hall set a rule, and that was, if a challenger failed his challenge, he wouldn't be allowed to issue another challenge for the next test. He had to wait half a year later. This was Qi Shengjia's last chance. Even though his father didn't complain about the fees, Qi Shengjia would quit school if he failed to join the battle hall this time. The school fees were simply too expensive. If he didn't improve, he would truly not have any face to stay here. At 8 sharp, the sound of drums echoed out. Boom, boom, boom. All the students gathered before the battle hall fell into silence. They inclined their heads and stared in the direction of the entrance. A young man with a height close to 2 meters stood there. He was like an iron pagoda and was proclaiming in a bright and clear voice, "All challengers, line up before the entrance." After that, proceed with drawing lots. You will enter the competition based on the number you drew. If you missed your number when it's called out, it will be considered that you have decided to give up. After the students immediately surged forward like a hive of bees when they heard it. All of them wanted to snatch a good position. Silence. Anyone who still jostles and creates a commotion will have their qualification of challenge removed. The young man berated. His voice wasn't loud, but it was like a clap of thunder, ringing out loud in the ears of everyone. The students immediately got into rows obediently. This person who spoke was Ziting, someone that was ranked number 5 in the battle hall. He was extremely impartial and followed the rules of the school religiously. Since he said words like removing one's qualification of challenge, it meant that he would do that. Everyone didn't wish to lose their qualifications just by snatching a good spot. That would be too tragic. Once everyone was organized into neat rows, the efficiency became much faster. The students walked to a large metal box and put their hands into it to draw a lot. "May the heavens bless me." Ziting immediately cursed at them. "The heavens won't bless you. Your own hard work is the only thing you can depend on. If you are not confident, just scram now. Don't waste everyone's time." Ziting continued. "Also, for the rest of you, I want you to move quicker. Do you all think the box is a woman? Why are you putting your hands inside it for so long?" Ziting's words were funny, but not a single student dared to laugh. Everyone no longer dared to delay and drew out a wooden plate from the box. In fact, They didn't even have time to see the number on their lots and hurriedly left to make space for the next participants. The rest will draw lots tomorrow. When 500 students finished drawing the lots, Ziting stopped the next student. Go and make your preparations first. The challenge will begin 10 minutes later. After Ziting spoke, he carried the metal box that weighed over 50 kilograms with a single hand. He then returned inside the battle hall. It's over. After Ziting's silhouette vanished, a student tossed the wooden plate in his hand onto the ground and involuntarily wailed in anguish. The people beside him glanced at the wooden lot and immediately conveyed their sympathies. On the thumb-size wooden plate, there were 3 characters. 1. Fang Yan. Fang Yan, a student of the 7th grade. He was the publicly acknowledged number 1 ranker of the battle hall, and this unlucky student drew him out of 500 students. His luck was truly so bad that no one could beat it. However, he wasn't the only one wailing and sighing. Those who had drawn the top 100 rankers looked as though they were attending a funeral. Sun Mo didn't waste much time and soon found Qi Shengjie. Qi Shengjie was seated on the stairs and was listlessly staring at the ground. His eyes were red. It was evident that he just cried. A bad draw. Upon seeing Qi Shengjie's state, Sun Mo already guessed the answer. His opponent is Pen Wanli. Zhangzhou passed her wooden plate over, but Sun Mo didn't take it. He already saw the number 106 on it. Your hard work can be seen by everyone. If you continue to train, half a year later, you will even win against someone in the top number 100. Wang Hao consoled. But even he himself didn't believe in his own words. During these few days, Qi Shengjie was full of confidence and he became more chatty. He, who had always been shy, could even say words like he would pass the test for sure. But after drawing his lot, it was like all his energy and spirit had been sapped away. Teacher. When he saw Sun Mo, Qi Shengjie greeted him in a mournful voice. It was simply like a cuckoo crying blood. Yo, isn't this student Qi Shengjie? When you were publicly proclaiming that you would pass the battle hall's test, your expression wasn't like this. Yan Li came specially to see Qi Shengjie being defeated so he could taunt him later. However, he didn't expect Qi Shengjie's luck to be so bad. There was no need for a challenge and it was almost certain that he would lose. Let me see who's your opponent. Yan Li moved over. Peng Wanli? This guy is the same year as us, but he's at the 6th level of the body refinement realm. His 18 arhat palms is extremely famous. You are only at the 3rd level of body refinement. How can you win? Shengjie is at the 4th level. Wang Hao rolled his eyes. 4th level? You broke through recently? Yan Li was astonished. Soon after, he cursed in a low voice. Although Yan Li was at the 5th level and Qi Shengjie was still 1 level weaker, he felt unhappy when he saw someone he disliked breaking through. Are you done or not? Quickly leave. Zhangzhou frowned. I'm only reminding him out of goodwill. Try not to die from being beaten up, let alone the 4th level. Even if he was at the 6th level, he wouldn't be able to beat Peng Wanli. Yan Li laughed uproariously as he left. This detestable poor ghost was finally going to quit school and scram. Tonight, he definitely had to go out and enjoy a feast to celebrate it. It's over. Qi Shengjie stood up and walked over slowly. Clearly, he wanted to give up. Wang Hao and Zhangzhou didn't feel surprised by this. If he entered the battle, it was unknown whether his injuries would be heavy or light. If his injuries were heavy, he would need to spend a bomb on medical fees. I shouldn't have any hopes. Boo-hoo. Qi Shengjie lifted his hand to wipe his tears as he cried sorrowfully. Sun Mo surveyed Qi Shengjie. He saw that Qi Shengjie's potential was still extremely low. Such a thing wouldn't suddenly rise due to reasons such as sympathy or you are a good person. System, open the shopping store. As Sun Mo silently mused, the shelf for goods appeared before him. The items here were pathetically little. Sun Mo glanced at everything and his vision then landed at the lucky treasure chest at the bottom left corner of the goods shelf. Lucky treasure chest valued at 10 favorable impression points. There's a 0.1% chance you will be able to draw a technique, an item, or a cultivation art, etc. As he looked at the note about the lucky treasure chest, Sun Mo decided to gamble. Chapter 19. When I'm teaching someone a lesson, how are you qualified to interrupt? When the host completed the missions, the system would give out treasure chests according to the mission's difficulty, from low to high. The grades were black iron, bronze, silver, gold, and diamond treasure chest. When opening a treasure chest, the host would have a chance to gain a reward. The higher the grade of the treasure chest, the better the rewards would be. Other than this, there was another type of treasure chest named Lucky Treasure Chest. This was what the host could get every midnight when the timer refreshed. This same type of treasure chest was also sold in the system shopping store for 10 favorable impression points each. Although the chances of getting good items were very low, this treasure chest was like the last life-saving straw in the hand of a drowning person. Although they knew it was useless, the presence of hope would still bring about great comfort to their hearts. System: how many favorable impression points do I have now? Sun Mo silently asked. 170. The system answered in a concise and comprehensive manner. I'll buy 10 lucky treasure chests. Actually, Sun Mo knew the answer. His question was to test the system, but sadly, there were no loopholes he could take advantage of. The system's actions were extremely clean, not giving Sun Mo any chance to regret his words. Why do I still have to open the storage cabinet? Just bring them all out, I want to open them. After Sun Mo spoke, a treasure chest before his eyes. He didn't do anything superstitious like praying for good luck or washing hands to wash away bad luck. He simply mumbled the word open silently. The chest opened. There was nothing in it. There wasn't even a consolation note that stated please try again the next time. Sun Mo continued. He opened another chest again but didn't receive anything. It was so for all the 10 chests. Sun Mo felt like cursing the system's mother. He really wanted to curse out loud. 100 favorable impression points for 10 lucky treasure chests. Yet he didn't receive anything at all. You are an extremely unlucky person. Why are you trying to gamble on your luck? Does your family own a mine? Do you think it's so easy to gain favorable impression points? Sun Mo silently mumbled to himself. Sun Mo slapped his left hand. Pack. Li Ziki called out, feeling a little afraid. However, when Teacher Sun was serious, he also looked quite handsome. System: give me another Seth. Forget it. As Sun Mo spoke halfway, he thought about the lucky treasure chests he would get every midnight. During these few days, he hadn't been opening them, so he did a quick check and realized that he had 5. Open them all. Sun Mo was too lazy to open them one by one. Swish, swish, swish. A bright light flashed. All of a sudden, a book emitting a dense golden light flew out from one of the lucky treasure chests and floated before Sun Mo. Congratulations, you obtained the Grand Master level Muscle Forge technique. This was one of the 4 branch techniques of the ancient massage technique. Using the Muscle Forge technique on a target can increase the target's cell vitality, enhance the strength of the target's muscle, rejuvenate muscle damage, increase strength, and upgrade spirit chi storage. You are determined to make me get on the path of a masseur, right? Sun Mo was speechless. The things he wanted most were peak-grade medicine, which could be used to directly upgrade one's combat strength. However, the Muscle Forge technique wasn't bad. It was still better compared to some random stuff. Qi Shangjie, come back here. Sun Mo spoke. Qi Shangjie turned, having a look of despair. Teacher Sun, I won't be able to win. Sun Mo's expression was ice cold as he walked in front of Qi Shangjie. He lifted his hand and slapped his face. Pack. The clear sound of a slap rang out, causing a female teacher who was walking by to jump in shock. She couldn't help but turn her gaze in this direction. Say that again. Sun Mo berated. Qi Shangjie felt that there was nothing sadder than this. What could the pain of this slap count for? Beng Wanli's ranking is number 106. Pack. Sun Mo's slap interrupted Qi Shangjie's words. Say that again. Beng Wanli's ranking. Pack. Sun Mo launched another slap. Say that again. Peng Wan. Pack. This time, even before Qi Shangjie finished saying Beng Wanli's name, all his latter words were smacked back into his throat by the slap. Li Ziki watched on as her heart trembled. Teacher. Qi Shangjie didn't understand why he was slapped. You haven't even gotten on the stage. How do you know you will lose for sure? Sun Mo was very angry. From the time he had taught students until now, he had never hit anyone before. But this Qi Shangjie was too soft and weak. As a man, you can lose. But you cannot choose to flee even before the battle. Do you know that you look like a pathetic dog? The female teacher involuntarily nodded when she heard this. Her beautiful eyes turned toward Sun Mo as she surveyed him. Teacher Sun, even if he went up to the stage, he won't be able to win. And if he is injured, he still needs to spend money on treatment after that. Zhangzhou spoke in support of Qi Shengjie. Shut up. Sun Mo turned and shot a ruthless glare over. When I'm teaching someone a lesson, how are you qualified to interrupt? Zhangzhou hurriedly lowered his head after seeing how fierce Sun Mo was. However, his heart didn't accept Sun Mo's words as correct. Although Qi Shengjie's current actions were very embarrassing, would it be different if he went up the stage? Even if you cannot win, you cannot allow your opponent to win too easily. Treat yourself as a mad dog. Go and bite him. Bite him ruthlessly. Make sure that the next time he meets you, his first reaction isn't to think of you as a soft and weak dog, but a mad dog that could take a few bites out of him. Sun Mo lectured. The female teacher couldn't help but laugh out loud when she heard this. This unfamiliar-looking fellow, is he an intern teacher from this year? How interesting. Just when she was preparing to leave, a buzzing sound rang out. Sun Mo's body began to emit a layer of golden light. After that, the golden light scattered outward, landing on Qi Shengjie's body and also enveloping others. Qi Shengjie suddenly felt an abundance of battle intent. Great Teacher Halo! A student cried out in shock as all of them turned their heads over. Teacher Sun's words make sense. Li Ziqi's beautiful melon face was golden when the rays of the sun fell on her. The education she had received told her that Sun Mo's words were extremely impolite. But when she thought carefully about it, it did seem to make sense. If Qi Shengjie fled this time around like a pathetic dog, in the future, when his opponent encountered him again, he would definitely mock him and wouldn't be afraid to fight again. But if Qi Shengjie was determined to take bites out of his opponent, even if his opponent was the victor, he would most probably change his route to avoid him the next time they met. After all, no one would want to be bitten by a mad dog twice. Are these the words of wisdom from Teacher Sun? Ding. Favorable impression from Li Ziqi +1. Prestige connection with Li Ziqi. State, neutral, 5/100ths. Sun Mo, who was encouraging Qi Shengjie, suddenly jumped in shock when he heard the system's notification. He involuntarily turned and glanced at Li Ziqi, a young woman clad in men's clothes. When she saw Sun Mo glancing over, she waved her fist with force to cheer him on. What did I do? I can even receive favorable impression points like this. Sun Mo was speechless. However, the top priority was to hurry up and boost Qi Shengjie's morale, giving him confidence. It's time I use my ultimate technique. Qi Shengjie, come with me. Sun Mo took the lead and walked toward the battle hall, preparing to borrow a resting room. He wanted to use his ancient massage technique on Qi Shengjie, as he couldn't possibly use that in this small public square, right? If that was the case, the title of a masseur would probably be stuck with him forever and there was nothing he could do to cleanse himself of it. Upon hearing the words ultimate technique, not only did Qi Shengjie's eyes brighten, but Wang Hao and Zhangzhou also hurriedly followed him. Li Ziqi didn't say anything. It was like she was wagging her little tail like an obedient puppy and silently followed behind Sun Mo. Since today was the day of the test, various jobs needed to be done. But since the battle hall's reputation was so great, it was extremely easy for them to find students who volunteered to help. Staring at the red armbands the volunteers had around their arms, Sun Mo reckoned that their authority shouldn't be great. Hence, he directly looked for Ziting, the student who had presided over the drawing of lots earlier. Borrowing a resting room? Ziting frowned and surveyed Sun Mo. Yet, his tone was one of rejection. Sorry, the resting rooms of the battle hall have never been borrowed to outsiders before. I will only use it for 20 minutes at most. If it wasn't for Qi Shengjie, Sun Mo wouldn't have said this. He then continued, I can pay money for it. The resting rooms of our battle hall aren't something you can borrow just by spending money. Ziting laughed. His voice was filled with a hint of superiority. Even the few students beside him had similar expressions on their faces. Sun Mo turned his head and left while noting down Ziting's name in the small notebook of his heart. Were students from the battle hall so impressive? When he formally became a teacher, he would enter the battle hall as their consultant and make them call him teacher every day. He should be an intern teacher. a student reminded Zuting. So what? Zuting's lips twitched. It's still not confirmed whether he can join the faculty or not. If it was a teacher of the school asking, Zuting might have agreed. But an intern teacher who would care about them. Speaking of status, Zuting as the 5th ranker of the battle hall was highly regarded by many teachers, belonging to the category of students that had a bright future. Quite a few teachers had openly expressed their intentions to accept him as a personal disciple, but they were all rejected by Zuting. A fine bird chooses a tree to nest in. Zuting was also waiting for a good offer. After all, with a good teacher to protect him from the wind and rain, his future path would be much more relaxed. Zuting, who was currently acting like a big boss, instructing the volunteers, instantly smiled radiantly before turning his head. At the same time, he sucked in his stomach and pushed out his chest, adopting a perfect posture. Teacher Jin, Zuting called out. His voice was filled with respect and even a hint of amiability. Don't look down on the words, Teacher Jin. He had privately practiced calling these words out, infusing them with his emotions. Why was that intern teacher looking for you earlier? Jin Muji was dressed in the moon-white long robe. There were 3 strands of golden threads being embroidered on the cuff and the bottom of the robe. This was an indication of a 3-star great teacher. Zuting didn't dare to hide anything. Oh, give him a resting room. After Jin Muji finished speaking, she turned and departed. The students merely glanced at each other before hurriedly lowering their heads. The consequence of offending a great teacher was an immediate expulsion. Amen. After Jin Muji left, Zuting chased after Sun Mo. At the same time, he was frowning. Could it be that Teacher Jin was acquainted with this intern teacher? If this was the case, would his earlier attitude cause the intern teacher to feel hatred in his heart? There's a resting room now. Li Ziqi happily spoke when Zuting appeared and spoke to them. Yes, I will bring everyone over. Although Zuting's smile wasn't radiant, his expression was much better compared to his earlier dead fish look. Chapter 20. Mysterious Golden Human. Many thanks. Sun Mo knew that there was a reason behind the change in Zuting's attitude. However, he didn't have the mood to analyze it. After he reached the resting room's entrance, he spoke to the others. This chance is extremely rare. You guys should go ahead and view the battles. They would be of help to your growth. Sun Mo was just finding an excuse. He didn't want others to see him performing to Ina. Amen. Li Ziqi lowered her head and twiddled her index fingers. She wanted to see how Sun Mo would help Qi Shangjia, who was clearly an inferior student, to overturn the situation. Ziqi, come in with me. Sun Mo couldn't bear to see Li Ziqi like this. After all, she came here to find him. If he tossed her out like this, it would be too merciless. Wang Hao and Zhangzhou exchanged mutual glances when they saw the door being closed. Deliberately acting mysterious, Zhangzhou whispered, agreed. Wang Hao nodded. From his point of view, Qi Shangjia had no way to reverse the situation. After entering the room, Sun Mo immediately took out the ancient whale oil when the 2 others didn't notice. Take off your clothes. Ah? Li Ziqi gasped in a low voice. Qi Shangjia was ill at ease, glancing at the melon-faced young girl. Although Li Ziqi was in men's clothes, she was so beautiful, and one could tell that she was a girl with just a glance. Why are you ahhing? I'm not asking you to take off your clothes. Sun Mo didn't have time to waste. He was going through the steps of the muscle forge technique in his mind to be more familiar with it. Then he urged Qi Shangjia, hurry up. The order of the battles depended on the lot they drew. The top 50 should all be crushingly strong. Many students were like Qi Shangjia, completely giving up to despair when they saw who their opponents were. Even though some students felt that the opportunity was rare and wanted to spar with these experts, the battle hall members wouldn't show mercy and would give it their all to end the battles quickly. After all, to these powerful students, these battles were a waste of time, and there was no meaning to it. Hence, although Qi Shangjia was the number 106 to head up the battle stage, it would be his turn in at most half an hour later. This was why Sun Mo wanted to quickly borrow a resting room. If they went too far away, it was possible that Qi Shangjia might miss his turn and would be treated as though he had given up. Due to teacher Jin Muji's instruction, Zuting specially found a resting room that was usually reserved for teachers. It wasn't large, but the equipment inside was very comprehensive. There was even a small bathroom. On the bed, The bedsheet was clean and tidy. Qi Shengjie, who only had a pair of shorts left, climbed up on it embarrassedly. Go and lie on it. After cleaning his hands, Sun Mo twisted open the bottle's cap. A strange fragrance instantly permeated the area, causing one's mind and spirit to stir. What is that? Li Ziqi was curious. Ancient whale oil. After Qi Shengjie lay down, Sun Mo stretched his hands and pressed down on Qi Shengjie's back. As expected of the Grandmaster grade muscle forge technique, with just a single touch, he could clearly sense the outline of Qi Shengjie's muscles. After that, he needed the muscles to soothe the pressure as detailed information entered his mind. Muscles are mildly injured, and many capillary blood vessels are fractured. But there's no problem with his blood. As expected, he trained too excessively, resulting in internal injuries. Sun Mo activated divine sight. Before he obtained the muscle forge technique, he could only see the data of his target's muscles. But now, he clearly knew what influence those data would have on Qi Shengjie's body. The ancient whale oil that was diluted by water was still white. He smeared it on Qi Shengjie's skin, and as he continued to knead and press, the oil blended into Qi Shengjie's skin. As sizzling sounds rang out, clouds of white steam rose. Qi Shengjie only felt his body heating up. It was like he ran for an entire day and went into a hot spring. All fatigue in his body vanished. In the resting room, as the clouds of white steam rose, the fragrance became more intense. Ancient whale oil? It's really fragrant. I will get some people to search for it when I return and give one bottle to my aunt. This oil seems to be very effective when used on one's body. Li Ziqi had been embarrassed to keep staring at the back of a man. However, her gaze gradually couldn't be shifted away. This massage technique of Sun Mo was too bizarre. Li Ziqi's clans had 5 Grandmaster Masseurs. Usually, after her cultivation, some of them would help to adjust her condition. And because her aunt's body wasn't that well, Li Ziqi specially went to learn massaging skills for her sake. With regard to the 3 main factions and 6 branches of massage skills, she had some understanding of them all. But the massage skill Sun Mo was using didn't seem to lie within this system. It should be some sort of massage technique that's circulated from remote places. Li Ziqi was contemplating. All of a sudden, she saw Sun Mo's hands ferociously clapping onto Qi Shengjie's backpack. After that, a large amount of gold and spirit chi flowed out from Sun Mo's hands. The streams of gold and spirit chi gathered and solidified into a strange-looking human. Li Ziqi's ruby red lips opened wide. She couldn't help but take 2 steps back as her heart trembled. The bottom half of this golden man was in vapor state, but its upper half was a robust male with solid muscles. It shone brightly, as though its body was covered in olive oil. Although the golden man was formed from spirit chi, it was incredibly vivid and lifelike. Shwa. The golden man opened its eyes. Both its arms exerted force as it hugged inward, displaying its plump and sturdy muscles. After that, a thudding sound rang out as its right fist hammered onto Qi Shengjie's back. Qi Shengjie spat out mouthful after mouthful of saliva. He felt like a dough that was being kneaded by Sun Mo. Sun Mo had a head full of sweat. What the hell was this thing on his back? Could it be that before it took an arrow to the knee, it was the genie from Aladdin? The oil on the golden man's body shone brightly. It wore a corset and had a purple turban on its head. Ever since the Indian-looking golden man was formed, Sun Mo didn't need to act personally. Its massage techniques were profound and exquisite. Its thick and strong hands would cause Qi Shengjie to scream every time they come in contact with the young man. Teacher Sun. What massage technique is this? Li Ziqi was badly shocked. Letting someone like that knead your body must truly be a terrifying experience. Ancient dragon capturing hands. Sun Mo was too shy to admit the truth. Even if someone were to beat him to death now, he wouldn't tell them that this was known as the ancient massage technique. Sigh. He had truly met a ghost. Why did the golden man's form seem to carry a philosophical aura? How unique. Li Ziqi quietly took a few steps back. She was deeply afraid that the golden man might stretch out its hand, pull her onto the bed, and start kneading her as well. The golden man suddenly leapt into the air. It flipped in the air while raising its right arm and jutted its elbow out before heavily smashing it into Qi Shengjie's body. Ugh. Qi Shengjie roared. Li Ziqi also screamed. Her hands were covering her face, but there were gaps between her fingers where one could see that she was watching unblinkingly. Sun Mo was badly frightened. Would this Indian-looking golden man kill someone? Just when he was preparing to check on Qi Shengjie's condition, the muscles of Qi Shengjie's body began to tremble and frenziedly absorb spirit qi. This is the sign of a breakthrough, Li Ziqi exclaimed in shock. Qi Shengjie was in a daze after the massage. How did he manage to break through in such a state? Could this be an effect of the ancient dragon capturing hands? Li Ziqi analyzed. She couldn't help but breathe softly. How miraculous. Quickly wake up. Sun Mo shouted loudly. He grabbed hold of Qi Shengjie's arm and wanted to pull him up. At such a crucial moment, one had to maintain their consciousness and clarity to absorb the largest amount of spirit qi, elevating the effectiveness of the massage to the maximum. Sadly, Qi Shengjie wasn't able to do so. He was like a pile of rotten mud lying limply on the bed. There was even a stupid-looking smile of enjoyment on his face. Sigh. No wonder your potential value is extremely low. Sun Mo shook his head. It was only after 5 minutes did Qi Shengjie wake up. In addition to the 9 minutes used during the massage, not even 20 minutes had passed yet. Who am I? Qi Shengjie rubbed the center of his brows. Where am I? It's almost your turn to fight. Li Ziqi passed a cup of water over. Qi Shengjie gulped the water down and finally regained his senses. After that, he only felt shocked. Right now, his entire body felt extremely comfortable. I broke through. Qi Shengjie finally recalled what had happened earlier. Congratulations. Li Ziqi offered her congratulations. Teacher son. Qi Shengjie got down the bed, and a thudding sound echoed as he knelt on the ground. The force was so great that it almost cracked the floor. 2 rows of tears flowed from his eyes. He couldn't help but be emotional because now that he was at the 5th level of the body refinement realm, he truly had enough strength to fight Peng Wanli. Ding. Favorable impression points from Qi Shengjie plus 50. Prestige connection with Qi Shengjie. Friendly. 158 1/1000ths. Get up and tidy this place up. Prepare to go on the stage. After hearing the favorable points notification, Sun Mo was very satisfied. He used less than 10 milliliters of the ancient whale oil, and after counting everything, he gained in excess of 40 plus favorable impression points from the incident. He still made a profit. Amen. Qi Shengjie nodded furiously. He was extremely agitated. How did I break through? Oh right. It must be the effect of the ancient dragon capturing hands. As expected of Teacher Sun's ultimate technique, Qi Shengjie felt that meeting Teacher Sun was the blessing of 3 lifetimes. It was truly too fortunate for him. At the battle hall's stage, it was already the 2nd time that the judge Ziting called out, Qi Shengjie, please get up on stage. Ziting frowned. When he saw that no one replied, he took out an hourglass. When the sand in the hourglass fell completely, it would mean that Qi Shengjie had automatically given up. Teacher Sun. Qi Shengjie stood in the passageway and felt a little anxious. However, since Sun Mo didn't say anything, he didn't dare to speak either. Do you want to win? Sun Mo's gaze turned to the battle stage in the distance. Besides Ziting, there was a short but stocky young man. Through the divine sight, all his data appeared before Sun Mo's vision. Amen. Qi Shengjie nodded. If you want to win, do what I told you to. Sun Mo instructed in a low voice. Li Ziqi was like a rabbit as her ears pricked up. Qi Shengjie tidied his hair, completely clueless. What are you aiming for? Have you remembered what I said earlier? Sun Mo berated. Yes. Qi Shengjie hurriedly nodded. Go ahead. Even though this might be your last battle before you quit school, I hope you can give it your all. When you recall this battle in the future, I want you to only feel pride and not regret. Sun Mo patted Qi Shengjie on his back for encouragement. After that, he pushed Qi Shengjie forward. This time, Sun Mo's great teacher halo wasn't activated, but in Qi Shengjie's heart, an unprecedented sharpness and determination appeared. For this battle, he would win or die trying.